Honda Pilot, proud partner and a presented by the all-new 2016 Honda Pilot, proud partner and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Presented by the all-new 2016 Honda Pilot, proud partner and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium and a four-game series that's going to have a lot to do with who wins the American League East this season. This is the biggest series the Blue Jays have played since 1993. They currently have a game-and-a-half lead over the New York Yankees, and both of these teams had an extra day's rest because of the rain out. And Pat, this has got to be one of the most exciting series for a number of these Blue Jay players.
Yeah, and I talked to some of the players, I talked to some of the coaches, and I said, are you going to do anything different? You're going to have any extra meetings or anything like that? And they said, no, hey, it's business as usual. We're going to go out there, we're just going to play our game. Yeah, we all know it's a big series. We're going to take it one at a time. We just go out there and just play our game and see what happens. No need to put any extra pressure on anybody for this series.
Blue Jays have played very well against New York this season. They're 8-4 for the season, and they've only lost one game of the 6 they've played here at Yankee Stadium. Let's take a look at the lineup for John Gibbons' Blue Jays. Top of the order, Ben Revere. What an addition he has been to this ball club. Over his last 19 games, he's hit over 400 and scored 20 runs during those 19 games. And then how about the cleanup hitter? This year he's worn out the Yankees. 13 for 41 with 6 extra base hits and 5 RBIs. Edwin Encarnacion, one of the best power hitters in all of baseball.
What a lineup that the Blue Jays have, and what a boost Luis Severino has given the New York Yankees in 6 starts. He's 3-2 with a 204 earned run average. Just 21 years old. He's the youngest pitcher to make a start in the major leagues this season. And he has pitched well. Last time out versus Tampa, earned his 3rd straight win. He made his longest start of his career, 6 1/3 innings in that game. He leads all major league rookies with a 217 earned run average. That was in August. He's got a good arm, a good slider, good fastball, and he looks very poised when he's out on that mound.
Well, there's a veteran defense behind him, and they've got Brett Gardner back in the lineup tonight. Jacoby Ellsbury is in center, and Carlos Beltran, the veteran, is in right. Gold Glover at third base is Chase Headley. Didi Gregorius and Brendan Ryan up the middle. Greg Bird, the rookie, has been a great replacement for the injured Mark Teixeira. We'll talk more about Teixeira later on. Brian McCann, in his 2nd season with New York, handles the 21-year-old righty.
And here in Yankee Stadium, you need some speed in left field, and the Yankees got their starting left fielder back. That is Brett Gardner. Hasn't played in the field since September the 6th. 4 days ago, he ran into a wall. He's got a sore left shoulder. This is his first start since then in the field.
First pitch is a strike here at Yankee Stadium, and they need Gardner top of the order. Ben Revere inside with the fastball. Beautiful night tonight. 26 degrees, very comfortable evening after a rainy night last night that postponed that Thursday night start. Ball and a strike to Revere. There's a base hit for Ben Revere to start the game. Ellsbury over to cut it off. Revere's going to challenge him. He's headed for second, and he's going to make it with a slide. A leadoff double for Ben Revere.
They were actually playing Revere the other way, but they haven't been watching him over the last couple of weeks or so. He has been really stinging the ball. He hits it into that gap and then uses his great speed to hustle it in for 2. Jacoby Ellsbury, the center fielder, has got 4 outfield assists, but not a real strong throwing arm as he backhands that ball, and no chance to get Revere at second.
Both of these clubs are very good at scoring early in a ball game. The Yankees lead all of baseball with 111 runs scored in the first inning. The Blue Jays are 4th. They've scored 90 runs in the first inning, always putting pressure on the starter. Josh Donaldson pops it back out of play. What's Donaldson's mindset in this first at bat?
Well, I don't know if I would give myself up right now here in the first inning. He has had so many big at-bats for the Blue Jays in the first inning. I think his mindset should be hit the ball back through the middle and try and get a base hit. I'm not going to give myself up and try and hit a weak grounder to the right side. No way.
Donaldson has 12 first inning home runs. Off-speed pitch is a good one. Severino fell down. Boy, he slipped and caught his spikes in an awkward fashion. That's got everybody on the Yankees bench out of the dugout. Manager, pitching coach, and trainer all out to the mound very quickly.
Looked like he slipped and then slipped again and fell down. Watch the front side. Collapse. He slips and then he goes down. Yeah, it hit right before he hit the dirt.
He caught his heel before that front foot was supposed to land. He drug his heel and they caught the spikes on the back of his shoe. Joe Girardi obviously very concerned. They've already lost one starter to injury. Nathan Eovaldi.
Nathan Eovaldi is going to be gone for the year. They also got some bad news today about their starting first baseman.
Mark Teixeira, they finally discovered a fracture in his leg. He has been dealing with a swollen leg and they couldn't figure out what the problem was. Now if they have found out that he has a fracture and he's done for the season. So it's 0-2 to Donaldson. Now he might shift his gears.
Now he can slow down that swing and try and hit it to the right side.
Jose Bautista is on deck.
Look at him passing information right there. Bautista to Encarnacion about what that pitch was and what it does.
They saw Severino at Rogers Center, and he had a 9-strikeout game for 6 innings. That was on August 16th. They put a loss on him. Blue Jays won that game 3-1. Ben Revere with a leadoff double. He's at second. Ball in the dirt. McCann does a nice job to keep Revere at second base.
What a season Brian McCann has had. We all know about the offensive numbers, but how about what he has done behind the plate for the Yankees?
Yeah, Brian McCann, because he's been such a good offensive player throughout his career, you forget what a good catcher he is, and Joe Girardi has really admired him this season in his second full year with the Yankees. Donaldson was behind 0-2. He has worked to count to 3-2 now. This is a familiar pattern we have seen from these Blue Jay hitters.
I think he should still stay exactly where he was on that last pitch. He's looking for something out over the plate that he can hit to right field. Stay right there. Don't change right now that it's 3-2.
Swing and a drive deep to left field. 13th first inning home run for Donaldson, and they have a 2-0 lead.
But that home run was a byproduct of a great at-bat by Josh Donaldson. He fell behind and then he really shortened up his swing. And it looked like he was trying to stay in the middle. And when a pitcher makes a mistake like that, because your fundamentals at the plate are so good, things like this are going to happen. Josh Donaldson again with another big hit for the Blue Jays early.
Home run number 38 for Donaldson. RBIs 116 and 117. First inning lightning.
Slider, and you can see that he kept that shoulder in there. It just spun up there. Didn't get a lot of movement on it, and he crushed it.
Donaldson has now scored 31 runs in the first inning. That's the most in baseball. Great numbers over the last 2 weeks. Going to be interesting. You've got a young 21-year-old out there starting up a 4-game series with the Yankees trailing by a game and a half. Tough spot to put a youngster in.
You know, but you talk to all the Yankee people and you read about him, and the one word that everybody talks about is poise. Nothing seems to faze this young 21-year-old kid. Let's see how he reacts after that home run. He was trying to go down and away, and he left it out over the middle of the plate. But again, that's a byproduct of a great approach at the plate. Look how far that ball traveled.
Way over that first set of seats into the second deck out there in left center. 2-2 to Bautista. Chopped foul. You know, it's one thing for a hitter to get a hanging breaking pitch. Then it's another thing to hit it.
And then to hit it that far like that. But the guy's been locked in all season long. And, you know, we go around and people talk about Donaldson and is he the MVP? I think there's no question what he has done for this team, that he should be the MVP of the American League.
Bautista takes one inside. Tough lineup to deal with in your first inning of a big ball game. Bautista strikes out. It's a good slider. Now, talking about the pitching matchup here, 21-year-old Luis Severino going up against the veteran David Price, and there are a lot of numbers to look at. Price is 30. He's also made 209 starts compared to just 6 for Severino.
In the innings and the pressure, it's a different animal when you get into September and the ball games mean something. It doesn't mean that they can't outpitch. You know, Severino can't outpitch it. That doesn't mean anything. But it's also nice to have that type of veteran experience where you've been through the wars and you understand, you know, how to get yourself ready for games like this. I'm watching Severino now after that home run. Is he going to come out of his windup, his delivery? He's going to try and overthrow now. Trying to get through this. And remember, we've said it all year, the Blue Jays, they're not going to chase pitches off the plate. And if he comes out of his delivery and tries to overthrow to compensate, say, I don't have my good stuff, that's when the Blue Jays are going to attack him.
Ball on the strike to Encarnacion. Breaking ball hit toward the gap. Ellsbury's on the run. He's not going to get this one. Bounces off the wall. Encarnacion is headed for second. He has a 1-out double. Third extra base hit in the first 4 batters tonight.
Edwin is so good when he is thinking the middle of the plate or in the middle of the diamond, not trying to pull the ball. When he's driving the ball the other way or driving it into left center field, that everything stays together for him. That's a beautiful swing right there for an extra base hit. Watch how he covers that outside pitch and stays over it and on top of it.
Great swing. He stayed on that ball and drove it to the wall in right center. Brooks Jacoby believes that Edwin Encarnacion has the best power to center field on this team. When he stays in a big part of the field, there's not a field that can contain him.
And not to get too pull happy. He gets in trouble when he starts to trying to pull the ball too much.
Troy Tulowitzki with a runner in scoring position. Tulowitzki going after that first pitch. 278 for the season with 17 homers and 69 driven in. He continues to talk about it's not about my batting average, it's about our winning games. But you can bet he's anxious to come up with some more big hits as he did in Boston in the extra inning win.
Yeah, we're starting to see just a little bit more of that from Troy.
Severino can throw the fastball to both sides of the plate. The Blue Jays saw that when they faced him in Toronto. That's the one thing Brooks Jacoby reminded his hitters of. This guy commands both sides of the plate with the fastball.
Yeah, and he's going to be in the zone. A lot of pitches in the strike zone, so be ready.
Base hit past Headley. Encarnacion's being waved around. Here's the throw from Gardner. It's on line, but not in time. 3-0 Blue Jays.
You know, Edwin had to hold up just a little bit to make sure that ball got through. Got by Headley, and that's why that play was so close at the plate. One more time, Tulowitzki with a rifle right by the third baseman, and here comes Edwin around the bag. Gardner throws well. He's got 6 outfield assists, very accurate, but he bounced it a couple of times and it slowed everything up. He had to chase it. Watch Rivera. He's going to make that play. Edwin had a good turn at third base. He cut that corner at third base.
Edwin might be the best Blue Jays base runner. Not necessarily the fastest, but he's a terrific base runner. And even though he had to hesitate to make sure the Tulowitzki drive got past Headley, he scores the 3rd run of the inning. This is Justin Smoak. Again, the Blue Jays having a big first inning. Smoak this season had his first career grand slam right here in this ballpark against Savan Nova earlier in the year. It has been just one of 3 hits he has all season against the Yankees. Ball on a strike to the first baseman. Smoak thought it was upstairs.
Looked like it might have gone around the plate. That's the argument he's going to have with the home plate umpire.
Corey Blazer is behind the plate to open up this 4-game series. 3-0 Blue Jays. Swing and a drive to right. Beltran down into the corner. This ball is gone. Goodbye, home run. Justin Smoak with his 15th home run of the season.
You know, anytime you come into Yankee Stadium and you have a chance to put a left-handed batter up there, you got to do it. Especially with somebody with the power of Justin Smoak. It says it's only 314 down the right field line. That ball looked like it got in on Smoak just a little bit, but he got it up in the air and hit it in the right spot.
Justin Smoak now has 15 home runs. That gives the Blue Jays 5 hitters with 15 or more home runs. There are only 4 teams in baseball that can boast 5 hitters with 15 or more homers. The Yankees, the Astros, the Cubs, and now the Blue Jays.
That's a mistake right there on the inner half. Catches too much of it. Again, you don't have to hit it all that well. Just get it up in the air, hit it down the right field line, and the Blue Jays are loving that. Look at Marcus Stroman, fired up after that home run.
The Blue Jays wanted to play last night. They had to wait out the rain delay, and boy, have they made some noise here in the first. Says Russell Martin, 7th man to bat in the first. Yankees bullpen is up. Chris Capuano.
And this is a concern for the Yankees,
especially with a doubleheader tomorrow.
Right. That's why. Doubleheader tomorrow. First inning, you got a guy up and throwing already, and Joe Girardi's thinking about having to go to the pen early in game 1.
One and 2 to Russell Martin. Of course, Russell played 2 years with the Yankees before he went to Pittsburgh. Spent 2 years with the Pirates before coming to the Blue Jays. Two balls and 2 strikes. Remember, Severino slipped off the mound pitching to Josh Donaldson. He threw a strike and it was 0-2 at that point. And then after that, he really lost his footing. Martin strikes out. That's the 2nd out of the inning.
Both outs recorded with the strikeout. Both with sliders. Severino has thrown 31 pitches down in the first inning. They've made him work. And Russell Martin swings over the top of it. Well, you couldn't ask for anything more for the Blue Jays. First game of big series, first inning of a big game.
And David Price set to start. 5-0 Blue Jays. Ryan Goins, the number 8 hitter. He goes after the first pitch, rips it to left, but Gardner is there, and the inning is over. But what a start for the Blue Jays. The first inning of a 4-game series here at Yankee Stadium, and Josh Donaldson does it once again. With a man aboard, he goes deep in the first, his 13th first inning home run. Beginning of this 4-game series, Luis Severino, the rookie, gave up 5 runs on 5 hits, 2 home runs, and the Yankees find themselves down 5-0 before they step to the plate. Take a look at the lineup for New York. Jacoby Ellsbury against David Price has put up good numbers. He's got a home run. He's 19 for 57. That leads to that .333 average. And same can be said for Brian McCann. He, too, has hit David Price well. 10 hits, 3 home runs, and 7 RBIs for the Yankees catcher.
Yeah, at times they have had their way with Price. David gets ready for his 29th start of the season and 8th as a Blue Jay. 7+ innings in 6 of his 7 starts with the Blue Jays. He's also working on a streak of 6+ innings in 14 straight starts. He ranks tied for 3rd in the major leagues in complete games of 3 this year.
Misses with the first pitch to Kobe Ellsbury, the center fielder. Now it's a ball and a strike. Ellsbury, we mentioned his great run against David Price. 19 hits in 57 at bats. That's a lot of opportunities. 267 for the season.
That goes back to his Tampa Bay days, David Price's Tampa Bay days, and Jacoby Ellsbury also playing in the American League East with the Boston Red Sox. He and Gardner are the key, I think, to stopping the Yankees. They are so good at the top of this lineup.
2-1. Now 3-1. You keep them off bases and you're going to beat the Yankees. But once they get on, boy, they create havoc. They run the bases well, and when you have to pitch to the meat of the order with these two guys on bases, changes your whole out.
They hit the home runs. Obviously, they were good the last time the Blue Jays saw the Yankees when they lost 2 out of 3 at home.
David Price has not lost a road game to the Yankees in his last 7 starts. He is 5-0 with a 185 earned run average. He has not lost a road game to New York since May of 2012. Gets that ball inside to Ellsbury. That's a pretty good opening statement for the Blue Jays, I would say, Pat.
It's a good start. You know what it does, it is a statement. And what you do, you try to take the crowd out of the ball game when you make a statement like that in the top of the first inning, and now you got to shut them down and get back into that dugout.
The 25th time this season the Blue Jays have scored 5 or more runs in an inning. Ellsbury, little fly ball to left, no problem for Ben Revere. 1 down. Well, the defense is a much improved aspect of this ball club. Second half of the season, it's been great. Revere, Pilar, and Bautista can really cover a lot of territory. Donaldson and Tulowitzki on the left side of the infield, very important with the lefty on the mound. Ryan Goins and Justin Smoak on the right side, and the veteran Russell Martin catching his 101st game tonight.
And we've already seen the benefits of Justin Smoak in the game with his bat with the home run. How about his glove with all these left-handed batters that the Yankees will throw out there? You got to have some good defense, and Justin Smoak will get the start tonight. He is over at his familiar first base,
making his 60th start at first. This is Brett Gardner, the left fielder. Gardner banged into the wall in left field, bruised his shoulder on Saturday against Tampa Bay and missed 3 games, and he is back in the lineup tonight. Gardner just turned 32 years old. He was a 3rd-round pick in 2005 of the Yankees. He was an all-star this season. This is his 8th year with the Yankees. Hard to believe he's been around that long. There's a base hit. Past Donaldson into left field. Gardner's aboard with a 1-out single.
Number 13, Alex Rodriguez.
Alex Rodriguez for the season batting .256, but he's hit 30 home runs, driven in 78. It's his 15th season with 30 or more home runs. Price jumps ahead with a strike. Rodriguez hitting just .245 for his career against Price. He has 1 home run against David Price.
Yeah, he's handling. This will be interesting to see what Price is going to do here with Rodriguez. The Blue Jay pitchers, the ones who can throw hard, they're going to try and crowd him with fastballs right in there. They don't think that he can get around on a good fastball.
Better up or down?
I think better up. Down, all you have to do as a hitter, just drop the barrel of that bat on the baseball. Up, right around his hands or just above his hands. I think with a good fastball, I think that's where the Blue Jays are going to go.
One and two to Rodriguez. Rodriguez turned 40 years old on the 27th of July. He was the first overall pick in 1993 of the Seattle Mariners. He and David Price were both first picks in the country. Price was selected by Tampa Bay.
You can just tell they're just baseball players. They've got talent that just oozes from them, but they put in the time. Alex Rodriguez worked very hard in the offseason to get physically ready for this team. Remember, in spring training, there was no guarantee that he was going to get any playing time with this team.
1-2. Fly ball. Bautista will look at it sail into the seats out of play. Yeah, you're right. Back in spring training, they weren't really sure. And Joe Girardi offered no guarantees to Rodriguez. Brian Cashman said the same thing. Hey, he's got to make our team. We can't give him a spot. He hasn't played for 2 years, basically. And not only is he coming back from the suspension because of PED use, but coming back from 2 major hip surgeries.
Yeah, and if you saw him play 2 years ago, there was, when you watch him, it was like there's no chance that he could put together a good year because he just didn't have his legs underneath him.
There has not been a stolen base against David Price this season. Runners are 0 for 2 against Price. Just doesn't run much because he's so quick to the plate. He's pitching almost the entire game out of the stretch, if you will. His windup is a very abbreviated delivery.
It's exactly what it looks like with nobody on base.
A changeup got away from him. This is the type of game the Blue Jays envisioned when they acquired David Price.
Big game.
Go
on the road.
Yep.
Yep. Make a statement type of game also when you went out and get a guy like this.
Rodriguez fouls it off his foot.
Stop losing streaks. Blue Jays have a losing streak after they lost that last game in Boston. I mean, everything screams for John Gibbons, ace now, David Price, to do what they acquired him for.
David Price has won 9 games on the road. Doesn't make any difference where you pitch him. He's going to give you an opportunity to win every time he goes to the mound. David Price is 3rd in the American League in earned run average. Changeup. Rodriguez strikes out. First strikeout of the night for David Price. This is his 7th start as a Blue Jay, and boy, has he put up some good numbers.
Yeah, we talk about picking him up to do just this. 7 starts, 5-1 record with a .215 earned run average and an opponent's batting average under 200. He gives them innings. How about his whip under 1? He gives them innings. He mentally tough. He leads the way when he's not pitching. I mean, he's everything that you're looking for in a guy who is a true ace. And I like the fact that you can go on the road in these types of venues and these tough games against these tough teams and feel like you've got a really good chance when you've got a guy like this throwing.
And this is his 8th start as a Blue Jay, and he has been impressive. This is Brian McCann, the catcher, batting with 2 outs. Takes an inside strike. McCann has hit well against Price in the past. He has 10 hits. He's batting .435, and he has hit 3 home runs off of Price. Good breaking ball. 0-2. McCann, it's interesting, McCann, but he has 29 first inning RBIs. The Yankees, of course, lead baseball with 111 first inning runs scored. Ground ball. Goins is out in the outfield, and right throws to first. Price throws up a 0 in the bottom of the first. The Blue Jays bats have staked David Price to a big lead early. 5-0 Blue Jays after 1. You got a doubleheader tomorrow night. How important was that first inning for the Blue Jays?
I think it was a statement inning for the Blue Jays. Josh Donaldson does it again with a home run. Smoak homers also. The Blue Jays put 5 runs on the board against a 21-year-old pitcher for the New York Yankees. You make a statement. You try to take the crowd out of the ball game. And then as the game goes along, I think that type of statement like that can go a long way for the Blue Jays.
Another thing that becomes very important is just whether or not you can keep the pressure on Severino and get into the Yankees bullpen here in game 1 of this 4-game series. Tomorrow they'll play a regular doubleheader. It'll be 30 minutes after the first game. They start the second game, and the bullpens will certainly be taxed in a doubleheader, but especially if the Blue Jays can get Severino out of this game early.
Yeah, that's the important thing. We saw Chris Capuano starting to throw already in that first inning. Now, don't shut it down now and say, okay, we've got 5 runs and we're okay because David Price is. Let's keep the pressure on Severino and have a goal right now of trying to knock him out of this game in the next couple of innings.
Yeah, I think that's one thing you have to do is realize who you're playing. The Yankees, they're not about to give up. This is a number 9 hitter. Kevin Pillar was the only Blue Jay that didn't hit in the first inning. Takes one inside. Well, in case you just joined us, shame on you. You missed 2 home runs in a 5-run inning.
5 hits, 4 extra base hits for the Blue Jays.
Ben Revere started with a double, then Donaldson hit the home run. Encarnacion had a 1-out double. Tulowitzki drove him in with an RBI single, and Justin Smoak hit a 2-run home run. Two-run home runs in the first. On the ground, Didi Gregorius has really played well in his first season with the Yanks. One down. Let's go back to the top of the order. Ben Revere. Ben Revere might have been the least publicized pickup at the trade deadline of all the Blue Jays that they added, but boy, has he had a dramatic impact.
Yeah, a slow start for Revere. Hit 204 in those first 16 games, but look what he's done over the last 19, a 408 average. And for me, it all has to do with his timing. I thought his timing was off just a little bit when he first came to the Blue Jays. Remember, we played the Phillies where Revere was playing, and we were watching him, and he was hitting a lot of weak ground balls to second, weak pop-ups to the outfield. You can just tell his timing was off. Then he comes to the Blue Jays, and you want to do something big for your team, and it looked like he was just trying too hard. Since that last road trip when they went to Philly and they went to LA and they went to Texas, he's been swinging a hot bat.
408 over his last 19 games with 20 runs scored.
And his timing at the plate is just so much better.
Takes that pitch downstairs. It's 2 balls and a strike. Ben Revere, for his career, this is his 6th season. He's a .294 career hitter. I mean, that just doesn't go away.
No, you might do it for a year or another year, but to have a career just under 306 seasons in the big leagues, you know he's doing something right.
3-1 now to Revere. Leadoff walk. Well, Josh Donaldson padding his league-leading numbers once again in his first at bat, and you look at where he ranks in the MLB leaders among offense.
This is Major League Baseball, not just the American League. He's first in runs. He is first in extra base hits. He did both of those in the first inning, and he's first in RBIs, and he did that in the first inning with a 2-run home run. Not to mention the great defense that he has played this year and the leadership that he has shown in that clubhouse.
Ball is down in the dirt, but Ben Revere stays put. So Donaldson now with that home run. It was his 38th homer of the season, his 36th hit as a third baseman. He is just 5 behind Tony Batista, who had 41 home runs in 2000 as a third baseman. That's the franchise record. Revere for the season has 27 steals. He's been caught 5 times. He has not been caught since he has joined the Blue Jays. He's perfect 3 for 3.
Yeah, you just haven't had many opportunities hitting in front of these big hitters like that.
Josh Donaldson is a power hitter, but look where the defense is set up. I mean, it's nearly straight away. And that's testimony to just what a good hitter he has become, because he can hit it out down the right field line. He can pull it down the left field line. He really spreads the defense thin.
And they're deep in the outfield, too. Respecting that power.
There goes Revere. McCann's throw is on the first base side of second, and Ben Revere picks up his 28th steal of the season.
Brian McCann's thrown out 38% of the runners trying to steal against him. 23 caught stealings. It's Russell Martin with 24 who leads him, but he has no chance here. This is a huge lead and a quick jump by Revere, and he steals it without really even an attempt by Brendan Ryan, the second baseman.
2-1 to Donaldson.
Could the inexperience just a little bit be getting to Severino, who didn't pay attention to Revere? Certainly didn't pay attention to where this pitch went. And ball made it all the way into that second row, the bleachers, if you will, here at Yankee Stadium.
That is a long way out there behind the Blue Jays bullpen. Ground ball foul. Well, you can say all the superlatives about Josh Donaldson's season, but he continues to swing the bat very well down toward the end of the year. Donaldson coming into this game for his career batting just .202 against the Yankees in 30 games. So they have pitched him tough in the past. There he strikes out, and that high fastball ran away from him. 3 strikeouts for Severino.
There's no question that Severino's got great stuff. He's a classic drop and drive, hard fastball, hard slider right there to finish off Donaldson. Up and away. I think the Yankees have done a really good thing with him, really limiting his innings this year in the minor leagues. So when they got to September, if they were going to bring him to the big leagues, he was going to be fine. There was not going to be any pitch counts or inning limits on him.
Jose Bautista struck out his first time up. Bautista has a tremendous ability to make an out on one pitch in a particular bat and then go to the plate the next time looking for that same pitch. I mean, he is a step ahead of the pitchers most often.
So last time up, would he strike out on? Breaking ball. Let's see how he does against the breaking ball in this at bat.
Pushing back with a fastball. 96. I mean, this kid's got a legit arm. And you can see why they were reluctant to include him in any trade talks.
Yeah, and you know, everybody asked for him, and the Yankees said no. This guy's got a bright future. Explosive fastball and a tight slider.
Missed with that fastball, but Bautista fouled it back. They were trying to come inside again. You can see he left it out over the plate. Breaking ball called strike 3. Severino strikes out a pair in the second. Tight breaking ball. This one catches the outside corner.
Goins, who has done a fantastic job filling in for the injured Devin Travis. And today, the Blue Jays made a move with Devin Travis, moving him from the 15-day DL to the 60-day DL. So what does this mean? This means that he is retroactive, so he could come off the DL at the end of September. The question is, how do you get him back into the lineup? That's not easy. He's feeling better, but he hasn't faced live hitting, and with all the minor league seasons done now, he doesn't have that opportunity. I spoke with Brooke Jacoby. I said, what can you do? He said, really, the only thing we can do is have him stand in the bullpen while a pitcher is throwing a side session just to get the feel of what it's like to have live pitching coming at you. But it really is nowhere near the same as actually facing live pitching. So the chances of Devin actually coming back for the playoffs are very, very slim. Buck?
Yeah, I think you're right, Barry. I think that would be a very much of a long shot for him to rejoin his team and play at all. Obviously can't start until the end of September, and just not enough time to get back.
No, he's just been out for so long with that injured shoulder.
With that being said, hitting is so much different than pitching. And of course, that brings to mind Marcus Stroman, who's going to make his first start of the season tomorrow here in Game 2 of the doubleheader. But Paul O'Neill and I were having a discussion about that. O'Neill's doing the color work for the Yankees broadcast tonight. He said, you know, pitchers can come into a situation, whether it's the first year in the league or first game of a season, and they can control their destiny by making pitches. Hitters have to rely on pitchers making mistakes. Beltran strikes out. Price strikes out Beltran to start the second inning.
Well, when you're out for so long, like Devin has been, and with its left shoulder, the way he swings, it's just going to, you know, get it healed. Wish he could be here because he has meant so much to this ball club this season. Get it healed. Maybe come around for the last couple of weeks. But spring training is probably when we will see him in uniform playing again for the Jays.
This is the switch hitting third baseman Chase Headley. He gets jammed. That cut fastball working wonders against those right-handed hitters. David Price has been staked to a 5-run lead for his career. When his teams have given him 5-run leads, he's 49-3. This season alone, he's 8-0 when he's pitching with a 5-run lead.
That's something about aces that we were talking about when they get that kind of lead. I don't want to say they pitch like they think it's 0-0, but there's just something about them that they take it up another notch, and they want that W.
There's that backdoor cutter that strikes out Headley. 2 strikeouts. David Price made his second start for the Blue Jays right here at Yankee Stadium, and boy was he good on that afternoon.
He was dealing August the 8th against the Yankees, and they needed this. Blue Jays needed a big win and a big start from Price, and he gave it to them. August the 8th at New York, he won 5-0, or excuse me, 6-0, 7 innings. He had 7 punch-outs, 1 earned run in 15 innings as a Blue Jay at that time.
This is Greg Bird, the rookie, and what a job he has done. He was a 5th-round pick, 2011, by the Yankees, and now, of course, it's going to be the everyday first baseman with the announcement that Mark Teixeira is done for the season with a broken leg. He spoke to Joe Girardi about Bird. He said, you know what, he's a pretty good two-way player. He's not the player at first as Mark Teixeira is, who's a part-time Gold Glover, but at the plate, he swings with such ease and grace. There's no urgency in his approach as a hitter.
Very patient at the plate. He'll hit a share of home runs. He's got 3 home runs already this month. Big home runs.
A big home run against Brian Mattis on an 0-2 pitch here at Yankee Stadium that won it for the Yankees.
You know, one other thing about Price, I remember that game on August the 8th here. The Blue Jays took the lead and gave him the lead, and it seemed like he took his game to the next level. If you remember that, Blue Jays got the lead for him, got him some runs, and he went out there and just mowed him down after that.
And that's the quality that Price brings, that ace quality of saying, okay, let me look at the scoreboard one more time. Okay, 5-0, that'll be it. Game, set, and match.
That is the mindset that all the great ones have.
This is his 4th start of the season against the Yankees. Took something off that breaking ball, and how about that, striking out the side? 3 up, 3 down. The Yankees go quietly in the second. David Price has 4 strikeouts through 2 innings. This breaking ball gets the rookie Greg Bird.
Presented by the all-new 2016 Honda Pilot. Proud partner and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Doesn't make any difference where the Blue Jays are playing. You can bet there's going to be a lot of Blue Jay fans in attendance, and that's the case once again here in New York. Edwin Encarnacion doubled in the first to extend his streak to 40 straight games reaching base.
It's amazing, isn't it?
His average up to 271. Just 5 RBIs shy of that 100 RBI plateau.
About that batting average now up to 271 for Edwin after that hit. It started at 269. You know, on top of a slugger and a run producer, he's just a good hitter.
Look at the Blue Jays offensively, and they are all over the leaderboards. Bautista and Encarnacion have joined Josh Donaldson in the top 10 in RBIs. Encarnacion leads the American League with 3 grand slams. Bautista, Encarnacion, Donaldson in the top 10 in slugging and extra base hits. What a trio. And he'll take a walk. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update. Thank you very much, Jamie. Obviously, Kansas City leading that Central by a wide margin, 11 games over the Minnesota Twins. But the one thing that's kind of interesting all of a sudden is the Blue Jays have an outside chance at catching Kansas City for the best record in the American League. It's a high fly ball. Beltran in front of the warning track in right makes the play. Tulowitzki is down on 1 pitch. But wouldn't that be interesting if the Blue Jays could catch the Royals and pass them for the best overall record in the American League? That would guarantee them home field advantage throughout the postseason.
Yeah, and I'm talking about the World Series too, because the American League has the advantage in that. Yeah, that kind of snuck up on everybody. What is it, 4 games, did you say?
Just 4 games separate the 2. Kansas City has 83 wins, 56 losses, and the Blue Jays have 79 wins and 60 losses. So it is something they can do. Justin Smoak, he went deep his first time up. Smoak's hit 2 home runs against the Yankees this season. He has only 4 hits, but he's got a grand slam and a 2-run homer.
Make it count. That's why you got to put a guy like this who hits a lot of fly balls, and he's a left-handed hitter. You got to put him in the lineup when you're playing here at Yankee Stadium because of that short right field wall.
Inside. Smoak coming into this game with 241 at bats. He now has 48 RBIs to go along with those 15 home runs. You and I were talking with Joe Girardi, the manager of the Yankees, before the game, and he said, boy, Colabello and Smoak have had good seasons for you. And he was talking about championship teams and what they do.
Well, the good players, they're going to get their numbers, and the Blue Jays haven't done that. Obviously, they're great players, but it's the second-tier players, if you will, the Colabellos, the Smokes, the Pilars, the Goins, guys like that that have put together big years. That's why the Blue Jays offense is so deep and so good.
Yeah, the veteran players that get their 450, 500, 600 at bats every year, they're going to put up the numbers that are close to what they've done year in and year out. But you need exceptional years from unknown places like Chris Colabello and Justin Smoak. Limited at bats, unlimited production. That gets away from McCann, and Encarnacion's going to go to second. That breaking ball bounced out in front of home plate. McCann had no chance on that wild pitch.
Oh, he's got such a tight slider. This time he overthrows it. That looked like it might have been a changeup right there. Bounces it in the dirt. That's a pitch that's developing for him. Way out in front of home plate. McCann has no chance to get that one.
You know, you might think, okay, well, why didn't he block it? Because it's so far out in front of home plate, you don't know how it's going to react, and you try to stay on your feet and hope that you can glove it. Just kind of make a backhanded stab at it. Smoak takes ball 4. 2 walks in the inning. First and second, 1 out.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for 21-year-old Luis Severino. He's got an explosive arm. He's going to use that fastball. You can see he sits around 95, almost 96 miles an hour. He does it with a lightning arm. It's very fast arm. Slider 31% of the time, and it's hard, 89 miles an hour, and then the changeup averaging about 88 miles an hour. That's his best secondary pitch. They think, the scouts think, that changeup is his best secondary pitch. Nardi Contreras, who is the senior pitching instructor for the Yankees in the minor leagues, said, we signed this guy for his slider. It's one of the best as a youngster. They signed him in December of 2011, gave him $225,000. He's only 21 years old, but Nardi was saying that everything has jumped. His velocity went up. Everything went up after they signed him.
It's not unusual. He was just a teenager in his early teens. 16 years old when he signed. He didn't play until he was 18 years old in 2012. Pitched in a Dominican Summer League. Made 14 starts.
But how many organizations say, as that's the pitching coach Larry Rothschild, to go out there to talk to this young star, to say, we signed this guy for his slider?
No, it doesn't happen very often.
Not many. And that's saying something. This guy's got a big arm. His fastball could touch 98 miles an hour.
Garrett Jones. That's not Garrett Jones, obviously. He's a position player, but that is Chris Martin, a big right-hander. We saw Martin earlier in the season, and he's loosening up in a hurry. So Russell Martin bats with 1 out. 2-0 count on Martin. Larry Rothschild with his second visit to the mound. Encarnacion walked to start the inning, went to second on the wild pitch, and Smoak with a 1-out walk. He's at first. Russell Martin coming into this game batting .135 over his last 21 games. He's trying to get his stroke back and develop some consistency here in the final month of the season.
Looking for a breaking ball right there. And he took a fastball right down the middle. Russell does his best work by going the other way. Or right back through the middle. The outfield think he's going to go hit the ball to right field. Just can't open up. You can't start letting that front side leak too early.
Stayed on that pitch and fouled it straight back to the screen. Russell has 19 doubles, 2 triples, and 17 home runs. Driven home 57. Got a piece of that cutter. Rick Jacoby talked about Severino's breaking ball. He said he throws that cutter at 89 and 91, and then he throws the same pitch, but it gets more depth, and the velocity will be down in the mid-80s. But it's just more of a deep slider than that hard cutter, but it's basically the same pitch. He just has a feel for the ability to make it a little bigger at times.
And he'll make mistakes with that breaking ball. He won't get enough on it. It'll just spin up there. Stay in the middle part of the plate. That's what we saw in the first inning.
2-2 to Martin. Ground ball up the middle, base hit. Encarnacion's getting the wave. He's going to come around third and score. Russell Martin picks up the RBI with the single, his 58th run driven in, and the Blue Jays have a 6-0 lead.
I told you he does his best work by going right back through the middle. Staying on that pitch instead of falling off or trying to pull it, stay on it, and he does a good job. Right back through the middle. That's a big base hit for the Blue Jays. It's going to take Severino and take him out of this ball game.
Well, the Blue Jays do what they want. They get the starter out here in the third inning. The Yankees will go to the bullpen early. Big Chris Martin on to face Ryan Goins when we come back to Yankee Stadium. 6-0 Jays. Sessions here. Boy, that's a nice tray. Pat, why don't we order one of those up here to the booth? That looks pretty good. A little bit of everything. Some fresh strawberries, some strawberry covered, chocolate covered strawberries, and a new pitcher into the game is Chris Martin. This is his 19th appearance. He comes on with one out in the third.
Martin, a big tall guy, 6'8". He's all going to be around the plate. He's a strike thrower. Fastball, slider, changeup. He was drafted a couple times. Once out of high school, once out of community college. Once by the Tigers, once by the Rockies, and did not sign. And Martin is now here into this game trying to stop the bleeding.
Ryan Goins takes the first pitch strike from Martin. Goins flied out to left field to end the first. He was the 8th Blue Jay to bat in the first inning. The Yankees have used 33 pitchers this season. Only the Atlanta Braves have used more. We'll see Atlanta next on this road trip. They've used 36 pitchers this season. But Joe Girardi's had a unique situation with a lot of pitchers that have had options.
And they use that probably better than anybody, trying to keep people fresh. It describes it like having like a 15 to 17 man pitching staff, where you can pitch a couple guys out of the bullpen, you send them down to the minor leagues and bring up 2 more fresh arms so you can keep going to that bullpen.
Breaking ball and Goins strikes out. Martin gets the first man he faces coming into this game.
Got a good overhand breaking ball, and I think he's going to use it right here. That's where you want to throw a breaking ball with 2 strikes to a lefty right underneath his bat.
This is Kevin Pillar. He goes after the first pitch, drills it to left. Brett Gardner backpedals in, gets there, and makes the catch. The Blue Jays score another run in the third. They strand a pair. They take a 6-0 lead into the bottom of the third against the Yanks. Thank you very much, Jamie Campbell. We are in the Bronx. The Blue Jays have a 6-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the third inning. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Yanks. Didi Gregorius, then Brendan Ryan, and back to the top of the order, Jacoby Ellsbury. Price delivers the first pitch strike to Didi Gregorius.
Well, you can see what the Yankees are trying to do. They're down 6-0. David Price on the mound. They're going to try and take a lot of pitches here to try and get Price out of this game as quickly as possible. But Price keeps throwing fastballs right there.
Russell Martin's got a shot at this little pop-up. He gets there and makes the catch in foul ground. 1 down.
And that's what you do when you've got a 6-0 lead. Keep pumping that ball in there, saying, okay, here, hit it. Let's see what you can do with it. You're going to have some quick innings if you do that. This is his last 7 starts here at the Bronx. You were talking about that earlier. He's undefeated, 5-0. Look at the earned run average, opponent's batting average, whip. I mean, everything is outstanding. And now he's got a lead, and he's going to just challenge these hitters now.
Well, he can do it with 3 pitches in my mind. Fastball, cutter, changeup. I mean, that's all he needs to do right now, and just continue to mix it up. Says Brendan Ryan. He is 3 for 12 against David Price. Batting in the 9th spot, playing second base tonight. David Price and the Yankees lefty starter CC Sabathia have a lot in common. They have both been dealt in midseason trades to pennant contenders. With CC Sabathia, it happened in 2008 with the Milwaukee Brewers. He went from Cleveland to Milwaukee. Brendan Ryan rips it down the left field line. That's going to be extra bases. He's headed for a second. He'll stop there with a 1-out double. That's the second Yankee hit of the night. Comes from the bat of the number 9 hitter, Brendan Ryan.
Missed with the first pitch and then came in there with another one. Not much of a hitter, just a .213 average, no home runs, 7 RBIs. For that time, he got the head out. All that inside fastball. You're right. CC Sabathia took Milwaukee to the playoffs, and David Price is trying to get his team to the playoff after being traded.
At the time the Brewers picked up CC Sabathia, they hadn't been to the playoffs in 25 years. Well, for David Price, the Blue Jays haven't been to the playoffs in 22 years. Same kind of impact, and they're hopeful that the results are the same, that Price pitches the Blue Jays to the playoffs as Sabathia did to the Brewers. Jacoby Ellsbury bounces it over Price's head. Goins backhands and can't come up with it. It'll be an infield hit for Jacoby Ellsbury. It just hit into no man's land. It bounced over Price's head, and it was a do-or-die play for Goins.
And it's very soft around home plate where this ball first hits from Ellsbury. And just gets over Price's head, and then no chance really for either Tulowitzki or Goins to make that play. Just, chucked up over Price's head and stopped rolling. Made it tough to get Ellsbury with the great speed. It would have been a bang-bang play, and I don't even know if he was going to be able to make this play. Lost it in the transfer. Ellsbury just runs so well. Got out of the box quickly that time.
Well, Ellsbury with a hit. Gardner singled in his first at bat. Top 2 are 2 for 3 in this ball game. Keep your eye on these two. When Ellsbury and Gardner hit, they get on base. Yankees score runs. They kept him quiet the last time these two teams played here in the Bronx, and the Blue Jays swept the Yankees.
Conversely, when they came back to Rogers Center, Ellsbury and Gardner had great series, and the Yankees took 2 out of 3.
Line drive, Bautista on the run. He'll make the catch. Ryan tags at third. He'll come in to score. Gardner with the sac fly. The Yankees are on the board. Brendan Ryan comes in from third to score on the sacrifice fly. That 1-out double is cashed in by Brett Gardner. For Gardner, it's his 58th RBI of the season. Travis Rodriguez batting with 2 outs. Price struck him out in the first.
'92 made a cutter with some great movement. You can see where they're trying to go to him. Struck him out last time on a pitch that was inside.
Took something off of that breaking ball, and Rodriguez was way out in front. Price can really pitch. You know, when he first came up, he was a thrower. Had a good fastball and a hard breaking slider, but now he understands the value of changing speeds and location.
Reads bats and finds weaknesses and then tries to attack it. You're right. When he first came up, for a big guy who throws hard, he's always had great command, hasn't he? I think a lot of that has to do with the fundamentals of pitching. His mechanics are almost flawless.
He developed a solid foundation while pitching in college at Vanderbilt, and then took it to the next step with Jim Hickey in the Tampa Bay Rays. I think Hickey's one of the best pitching coaches we've seen in the last several generations, and he's done a marvelous job developing pitchers. And all the great pitchers that Tampa Bay has developed, James Shields and David Price and Jeremy Hellickson, who was a Rookie of the Year.
And what do they all have in common? 2 things for me: fastball command, and they throw a changeup. And every one of those guys who go down to the professor at Tampa Bay, you better be able to command your fastball if you're going to pitch, and you better be able to change speeds and use your changeup.
2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. The Yankees have scored a run. Another slow breaking ball. Boy, Rodriguez has been really off stride. He was late on the cutter early in the at-bat, and since then Price has backed off and he's been out on the front foot.
And that's what pitching is all about, isn't it? Just try to upset the timing of that hitter. They threw him a slow one that time. Let's see if he goes back to that cutter, the hard cutter inside.
He strikes out Rodriguez for a 2nd time tonight. David Price has 5 strikeouts through 3 innings. When we come back to the Bronx, top of the order for the Blue Jays, Ben Revere has been on base twice. Donaldson has already homered, and then Jose Bautista, top of the order.
a great catch. Purchase today, and you receive an opportunity to purchase 2015 Blue Jays postseason tickets. This postseason ticket inventory is extremely limited, and the offer will expire soon. Visit BlueJays.com/season tickets for more details. And that is great news, Buck.
Well, it sure is. A lot of opportunities there, and make sure you check it all out. This is Chris Martin facing Ben Revere. Revere's been on base twice. He opened up the ball game with a double to the alley in right center and scored on Donaldson's 2-run home run. He walked in the second and stole second. Right back to the pitcher. Martin throws to first quickly, and Revere's retired. Chris Martin came into the ball game with 1 out in the third. He struck out Goins, got Pilar to line out to left, and now he is retired Ben Revere. The Yankees need some length from Martin.
They've got a lot of pitchers who are a lot one-inning guys in that bullpen, especially toward the end of it. They got a boatload. I think I counted last time 14 relievers. September baseball at its finest.
Donaldson hits it high and deep to center. Ellsbury's got room. He is in front of the warning track in deep center field. Donaldson's retired.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Beautiful Yankees Stadium on a gorgeous night here Friday night. Doubleheader tomorrow afternoon. It starts at 1 o'clock, and the doubleheader is 30 minutes apart. After game one, they'll play 30 minutes later, and it's not a split doubleheader. September, you certainly don't want to drag things out, and it'll be a one admission doubleheader, something you don't see very often.
Yeah, I'm so happy it's not one of those split double headers, 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock. It's like the olden days. You play, you go in, you grab something to eat, you change your shirt, come back out, play another game.
Bautista singles up the middle. A 2-out single for Bautista. He's 1 for 3 so far. Edwin Encarnacion has extended his personal streak to 40 straight games reaching base. He doubled in the first and scored, and he walked and scored in the third. Big gap between Ryan at second on the shortstop side of the bag and first base. Forget about this one. Way back in left field. Second deck for Encarnacion. His 31st of the season.
Just when you were talking about Martin mowing down the Blue Jays, he put 4 of them down in a row, and then you got to deal with the big boys. First Bautista and then Encarnacion, and Edwin is such a good hitter. I mean, you watch him at the plate and what he does at the plate. You spin a breaking ball and you make a mistake with it, it's not coming back.
Might take 2 days to come back from where he hit that one. You can see he's impressed by the length of that home run. And that was deep into the second deck. Home run number 31, RBIs 96 and 97 for Double E.
Those kind of home runs like that could really just take the air out of the stadium here for the home crowd.
Tulowitzki fouls it straight back.
Watch the breaking ball. Watch the timing from Encarnacion. He rocks back on that back leg, and he knows it. He's hit plenty of. Rocks back, recognizes it. It's over the plate, and then it's a short swing, and gets that bat, hits it in the second deck in left field.
8-1 Blue Jays. They've hit 3 two-run home runs tonight. Donaldson, Smoak, and now Encarnacion. Blue Jays with 3 30 home run hitters in their lineup. Donaldson has 38. Bautista 33 and Encarnacion 31.
Edwards now second on the team in RBIs behind Donaldson. He's got 97.
Bautista 96, Edwin 97, and Donaldson 116. That's a murderer's row. 117, a short change him, a two-run homer.
Two-run home run in the first.
David Price enjoys the offense. Two balls and 2 strikes. Tulowitzki fouls it back. Blue Jays continue to build on their impressive offensive resume. Encarnacion with a 2-run, 2-out home run. Now has driven in 42 runs with 2 outs. That's deflating to the opposition. For Encarnacion, he is second to Kendrys Morales of the Royals. Morales has 51 2-out RBIs. And Josh Reddick, David Ortiz. Bautista is 5th in the American League in 2-out RBIs with 37.
And it makes the home fans do that right there. They're sitting on their hands.
Who are these guys?
Yeah.
There's another base hit for Tulowitzki. He's had a 2-hit night. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. The Yankee fans aren't too happy here, Jamie. Boy, the Mets are playing great baseball, and you're right. They made some great acquisitions. They picked up Uribe and Kelly Johnson from the Braves. That was the first step. Then they got Cespedes. Then they got David Wright healthy again.
Yeah, he's getting back here. They're calling him in New York here Yespedes. The way that he has been hitting.
Dustin Smoak has homered and walked so far tonight. Blue Jays have 8 runs on 9 hits, and we're in the 4th inning. Andrew Bailey loosening up for the Yankees. Smoak drives it to left field. Gardner backpedals a few steps and makes the catch, but the Blue Jays get 2 more home runs here in the 4th. Big night for Edwin Encarnacion. He's scored 3 runs. He's had a double. And here in the 4th, he hits a 2-run home run. His 31st of the season. It's all Blue Jays early in New York.
For Blue Jays highlights, analysis, and post-game interviews, you can now catch Blue Jays Rewind, presented by Booster Juice, part of the morning highlights on Sportsnet 360. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry Davis. And the Blue Jays fans, they don't need any Booster Juice right now. They've been boosted enough tonight in that first inning. 5 runs in the first. It's the 25th time the Blue Jays have had an inning where they've scored 5 or more runs. This is Brian McCann. McCann, the cleanup hitter, grounded out to second. Inside. The Blue Jays this season in Yankee Stadium are 5-1. And that's quite a departure from what it has been like recently here in New York. Blue Jays in their previous 23 games were 3-20 at Yankee Stadium. So John Gibbons knows he's got a totally different cast of characters playing against New York. And in fact, the Blue Jays should have won all 6 games they played prior to this 4-game series here in New York.
Gibby was talking about that the first day here, coming here, the problems that they have had here at Yankee Stadium over the years. Remember last year, he said we finally won a series here. At one point last year, that was the first step. Remember, they didn't even take BP one day. They didn't even come out onto the field until the first pitch, trying to break that problem that they were having here.
Yeah, they just couldn't do anything right here. So he said, you know what, we're not hitting, we're not going on the field, just go up and tee it up. Put your uni on, let's go get them. Tried to shake things up. Different story this year. McCann, boy, Price is pounding him inside, and he can't do anything with it.
The 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Yeah, they won a series, and then they started this year here against the Yankees, and they really could have swept them that first series of the season here. They ended up going 2-1.
They had a 3-1 lead going into the bottom of the 8th, and the Yankees came back, took advantage of some wild pitching. They had a bases loaded hit by pitch, had a bases loaded walk. Joe Girardi's team scored 3 in the bottom of the 8th to win that middle game of the opening series of the season. But this year the Blue Jays have pitched very well against the Yankees. They've held them down with a 208 earned run average. And a weak grounder. Goins has to come in from his position in right, makes the play. So we talk about the Blue Jays against the Yankees this season, and they have had a distinct advantage in every category.
I love the earned run average of 208 against the Yankees. The Yankees can score runs. I mean, they're second in the American League in runs scored, but the Blue Jays have their number so far this year with a 208 earned run average. They're hitting 227 against them.
Yeah, the Blue Jays have really pitched well against the Yankees this year. Carlos Beltran, he was one of 3 Yankees that struck out in the second. Price striking out the side in the second inning. Beltran has had some big hits against the Blue Jays this season, including a pinch 3-run home run up at Rogers Center off Aaron Sanchez. That was in a Price start as well.
Yeah, the game that Blue Jays had, and then let that one slip away. Beltran, switch hitter, he hits 20 points higher from the left side than he does from the right side. So this should be an advantage, I think, for Price tonight.
Another thing you do when he's hitting right-handed is you keep him away from that short porch in right.
You can throw him the fastball and let him just hit fly ball after fly ball to the left center and center field.
The appeal down to first. Dale Scott said no swing. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the right fielder. '18th season for Beltran. Came to the big leagues in '98 with the Kansas City Royals. Then he went to Houston in a June 2004 trade. Helped the Astros into the postseason and catapulted that into a huge contract with the Mets.
He had one of the best postseasons offensively of any player ever. That year.
He had 8 postseason home runs in 2004. Drove in 14 runs. He was 20 for 46 in the postseason. You talk about a great free agent stage. He took advantage of it. For his career, he's been in 10 postseasons and has 16 postseason home runs. But it was that first appearance in the postseason that really established him as a star in the majors.
Tell you what, the Mets had to open up the checkbook to sign him.
Line drive, base hit into center. Goins was positioned perfectly, but it was over his head for a base hit.
Save during the plumbing, heating, and electrical expert sale. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
One out, man at first for Chase Headley, the third baseman. Headley struck out in the second. The Blue Jays just coming out of Fenway after allowing 22 runs in a 3-game series. That's tied for the most runs the Blue Jays allowed in a 3-game series this season. They also gave up 22 runs to the Orioles in a 3-game series.
Well, they caught the Red Sox at a bad time. The Red Sox are really swinging it.
Line drive right past Price into center field. Beltran stops at second base. Back-to-back one-out singles.
Well, he struck out these 3 batters, Beltran, Headley, and Bird, the last time, and they've made the adjustment right back through the middle. Price can't get that glove out there quick enough to make the play. Beltran singles, and now Headley follows that up with a single.
You remember in Price's last start, he caught a line drive back to the mound. Just to hit a shot right back to him, or hit right in his glove, basically. But that time he couldn't get his glove up in time. Greg Bird. Yankees are very pleased with what they have received from Bird since his promotion.
Going to be playing every day the rest of the season. 5 home runs and 17 RBIs. Gene Michael was in the player development part for the Yankees, and he said that Greg Bird, and that's high praise, that he's further along at this stage of his professional career than Don Mattingly was when Mattingly was a young player for the Yankees.
That's saying a lot. Mattingly was really kind of a manufactured player. When you think about it, he was a low draft pick. He wasn't a great first baseman when he started, but he was a tireless worker.
He was an outfielder when he signed. He played left field. They moved him into third base, and he became a Gold Glove first baseman. And once he got to the big leagues, Lou Piniella was here. He taught him how to turn on the ball. Started hitting more home runs. You know, the most home runs he hit in the minor leagues was 9 in one season. Became a great player.
Mattingly had a terrific season in 1985, the first year the Blue Jays won the division, and he was Mr. Everything. I mean, he could do no wrong. Number 23 was a terrific hitter. And I think the only thing that kept him from having a Hall of Fame caliber season was his back. Just knocked him out early. In 1985, he was the MVP. He won 8 Gold Gloves, 9 Gold Gloves as a first baseman. He was a terrific defender. Russell Martin out to talk to David Price. It's a 2-2 count on Greg Bird. Runners at first and second.
Yankees are really making Price work. You can see what their game plan is. Get that pitch count up and get him out of the ball game. He needs some quick innings here.
Double play would help in that regard. Price has 5 strikeouts. That'll elevate your pitch count as well. Another foul out of play.
See a lot of patience in his swing. He doesn't, what they say in baseball, come out of your swing where you overswing. He's just nice and relaxed. Reminds me a lot, just watching him, reminds me of Joey Votto. The way he stands at the plate, he's got a very good eye. And he's going to hit for some power.
Hits this into center field. Not that deep. Beltran tagging at second. He's going to advance to third, and Tulowitzki cuts it off. Beltran moving up on the fly ball to center. 2 down now. Number 8 hitter is Didi Gregorius, the shortstop. Gregorius was originally signed by the Cincinnati Reds. When he was traded to Arizona, the Yankees got him and put him in at shortstop to replace Derek Jeter. And understandably, he got off to a slow start. Everybody, of course, in New York say, well, he's not Derek Jeter. But then again, who is?
Yeah, and that's why Joe Girardi, the manager for the Yankees, told him at the beginning of the season, said, Didi, just be yourself. You can't be Derek Jeter. Just be yourself and be the guy that we traded for.
There's a base hit on the first pitch. Beltran's in to score. It's an 8-2 ball game. For Gregorius, that's RBI number 47. 3 hits in the inning off of Price.
First pitch fastball right over the plate. Got to get that ball down. And Gregorius, who's come into this game, he has now reached base via a hit, a walk. With 19 of his last 42 plate appearances, plates Beltran with that 2-out hit.
Gregorius' previous high in RBIs was 28 in 2013 with the Diamondbacks. He just drove in his 47th run of the season. Number 9 hitter Brendan Ryan doubled in his only at bat tonight. David Price for the season has a 14-5 record. Since he's come to the Blue Jays, they've given him 5 or more runs of support in 6 of his 8 starts. We mentioned the blown save he suffered at Rogers Center against this Yankee ball club back in August. 0-2 to Brendan Ryan. This is popped up and out of play. Ryan and Stephen Drew have been splitting time at second base, and Stephen Drew has been productive, although he hasn't hit for much of an average. He's hit some home runs. He's got 15 home runs. Ryan strikes out. Martin holds on to the foul tip. We will go to the fifth. The Blue Jays have an 8-2 lead. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Kevin Barker.
September the 18th, it is Connect with the Jays night presented by Honda. The first 20,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays Come Together t-shirt. Go to BlueJays.com for more information. It's the Jays and the Sox that night, 7:07. And that Come Together slogan, Buck, started at the beginning of the year, and it has really turned into something big with the Jays.
Well, it sure has, and you'll be able to get a t-shirt on that Friday night. That's the opener of the final homestand of the season. Boston, New York, and Tampa Bay. New pitcher into the game is Andrew Bailey, making just his third appearance of the season.
He's been in the minor leagues pretty much the whole season. He's been dealing with injuries over the last couple of seasons. He was signed by the Yankees as a minor league free agent in March of 2014. He's just been battling some right shoulder problems for the last couple of seasons.
Bailey was the Rookie of the Year in 2009, pitching for the Oakland A's. He was 6-3, had 26 saves in 68 appearances. A couple of good seasons with Oakland. Made the All-Star team in his first 2 seasons, and then after he went to Boston in 2012, it's been a series of injuries that have held him back.
Yeah, just too many injuries. Right shoulder strain. He had shoulder surgery back in July of 2013.
Russell Martin, it's a ball deep to left center. This ball is carrying a long ways. This ball is gone into the Blue Jays bullpen in deep left center for Russell Martin, home run number 18.
He had a great at bat the last time he was at the plate with that single that scored a run, and maybe that's going to get Russell going again. Buck, that is a long, long way here at Yankee Stadium to left center field. These are the same dimensions that we had at the old ballpark, and you know how far that is out there. 399 to left center field. Martin got all of that and knocked it into the Blue Jays bullpen.
4 home runs for the Blue Jays tonight. That's the first solo home run. They have 3 2-run homers, and Martin his 18th of the season. That gives him 59 RBIs.
Put the swing on it, and you crush that ball to left field. Now as a hitter, you're saying, did I get enough of it? Because I know it's the deepest part of the ballpark. Look at the sign out there. 399. That is a long way. He can go into his home run trot.
Bounced up the middle. Ryan near second, throws across his body in time. Cohen's is retired.
Little cutter. Looked like they wanted that ball in the inner half. It just cut right to the barrel of Russell's bats. You can see him starting to run a little bit hard because he wasn't real sure that that ball was going to leave the ballpark.
He's had a good season against his former team. He played 2 years here in New York. Hit 39 home runs, including his career high 21 home runs with the Yankees in 2012. He's just 3 off that mark. Russell hit 19 home runs in his first full season. He played 151 games in 2007 with the Dodgers. He had 19 homers and 87 RBIs. Boy, this lineup has been balanced, hasn't it? You get a couple of guys down in the order, they'll cool off for a while. Top of the order will take the majority of the offensive load, and it just spread out top to bottom.
Where's Martin hitting? What number?
Number 7.
And how many home runs does he have?
18.
There you go. 18 home runs, and he's hitting 7th.
I mentioned earlier when Smoak hit his 15th home run, that gave the Blue Jays 5 hitters with 15 or more home runs. There are only 4 teams in the majors that have 5 hitters with 15 or more homers. Yankees, Blue Jays, Astros, and Cubs. Popped up and playable on the infield. Second baseman Brendan Ryan is there. Pilar is retired. 2 down. The Blue Jays have hit 4 home runs here tonight at Yankee Stadium. It's the first 4-homer game in New York since August 3rd, 2010. Jose Bautista, Vernon Wells, Aaron Hill, and Travis Snyder all going deep in that ballgame. That's thanks to our great stats man, Scott Carson. He's on his game.
He's on his game. It's a big series.
And Revere takes that high breaking ball. 9-2 Blue Jays. Top of the 5th. Andrew Bailey started the inning. Revere hits it to center. Ellsbury to his right makes the catch. The inning is over. But the Blue Jays have scored in 4 of the 5 innings tonight. They've hit 4 home runs. Russell Martin, he goes deep to start the inning. His 18th home run of the season. The Blue Jays have a big lead early.
stats, analysis, and other stories that matter. It is your home of everything Blue Jays. And on Sportsnet.ca now, guys, a terrific story written by Arden Zwelling, taking us through the remarkable comeback story of Marcus Stroman. And it is just simply incredible that we're going to see him pitch here tomorrow.
Everybody's looking forward to it, Barry. It should be a great opportunity to see Marcus Stroman pitch in this series in front of a lot of family and friends. Stroman grew up on Long Island, Medford, New York, not far from here. David Price pitches to Kobe Ellsbury, and the Phillies fouled up.
Nice catch by a fan right in front of us, Buck. One-handed.
Balls whistle back into the seats over this screen here at Yankee Stadium. Ball and a strike to Ellsbury. Ellsbury had an infield single back in the third. He's 1 for 2.
Change up. Boy, if he can get that pitch up in the plate in those fastball counts like that, he is just going to be that much more tougher to hit.
2-2. Little squiver out in front of the plate. Price gets on it quickly and throws to Smoak in time. One down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update for us. Very interesting development with the Rangers closing ground on the Houston Astros. At the start of play tonight, Texas just 2 games back, 2.5 games back. And they've got an interesting schedule. They're going to play Oakland the rest of this weekend. Then they will welcome in the Astros for a 4-game series. And Cole Hamels will open up that series on Monday against Scott Kazmir. The Astros will throw their best 4 pitchers, Kazmir, McHugh, Keuchel, and McCullers, against the Rangers, and they too have their best pitchers lined up: Hamels, Holland, Colby Lewis, and Giovanni Gallardo. It should be a great series there in Arlington.
Yeah, we've been talking about Houston, and everyone has been talking about Houston. They've led that Western Division, it seems like, all season long, but then you look up and here's the Rangers. What, 2 games, 2.5 games out?
Yeah, 2.5 games out to start of play. That is nothing.
Where'd that come from?
And they will play Houston, as we mentioned, 7 times now until the end of the season. Brett Gardner with a 3-0 count. There's a 4-pitch walk. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Well, Brett Gardner has had a perfect night. Single, sack, fly, and now a walk. Alex Rodriguez has struck out twice tonight.
Rodriguez has had 6 hits on this homestand. Came into this game 6 for 23, 4 home runs. So it's been all or nothing for Rodriguez on this homestand so far. Right now, David Price would like to see a ground ball.
He's ahead 0-2 to Rodriguez. We talked about Price's approach to A-Rod, and he has stuck to that approach. She's staying firm with him, using that fastball and cutter inside.
Inside that time, it was up and away. You can see where that number 2 is on the pitch tracker. Strike zone, up and away.
A little bit extra on that fastball, but it was upstairs. 2-2 to Rodriguez, 1 out. Gardner at first. The Blue Jays broke out on top with a 5-run first inning. Josh Donaldson hit a 2-run home run before there was an out recorded, and then Justin Smoak hit a 2-run home run. Tulowitzki had an RBI single between those 2 homers. Changeup, and Rodriguez has struck out for a 3rd time tonight. This Blue Jays ball club totally revamped since the end of July, and you can see the record reflects that.
Is that 10 games or so, 9.5, 10 games the Blue Jays have picked up in the standings against the Yankees, because they've gone 29-9 while the Yankees have gone 20-19. They've pitched about the same. They have scored about the same amount of runs, but the home runs, Blue Jays have out-homered them 61-54. It's all about winning. I mean, you hear Tulowitzki talk about, don't worry about my hitting. I'm going to play good defense and just try and win the game. And I think that's been the mantra for all these players every time they come to the ballpark.
Look out inside. McCann ducks out of the way. It's a ball on the strike. Tulowitzki talked about that. He said, this is the first time in my career where I can come to the ballpark every single day and everybody on the ball club is focused on winning. He said they have a good time, they have a lot of laughs, but man, oh man, they are focused on one objective, and that's to win. Foul back by McCann. Tell you what, these fans right in front of us, they are in a shooting gallery. Those balls rifle right over the top of that screen.
They don't have their gloves. There we are. Hello. They're right below us. They don't have gloves. They're catching that thing with their bare hands.
One and 2 to McCann. Ground ball up the middle. Tulowitzki flips to Donaldson for the force out. The inning is over. We've played 5 innings in New York. Game 1 of a 4-game series, and the Blue Jays have a 9-2 lead for David Price. Vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
We have a few choices already to choose from, but it's got to be this one right here. This is Josh Donaldson in the first inning, unloads number 38. It ends up going 436 feet. That's the longest home run by a Blue Jay here at Yankee Stadium since 2009, and it was a bomb deep to left field. It's also our drive of the game.
It certainly was a bomb, a long way out there. Encarnacion hit one into the second deck down the left field line. It too was hit a ton. Russell Martins went a long way. Now we're having an umpire conference for some reason, and there might be a medical emergency here. I think that's what it is, and the umpires are giving the medical team an opportunity to help out a distressed fan, and you see they're working on somebody there right behind Louis Rivera, so the umpires are going to stop action here for a while. So hopefully they'll be able to take care of that. We're assuming it's a fan, but the medical people in attendance are tending to someone there right next to the Blue Jays dugout. That's why the umpires have stopped play here. Obviously, you're so close to the field, you want any foul balls to go in there. They're attending to a fan, I believe, in the first row right there. So we will have a halt in the action. We are in the 6th inning. And Josh Donaldson is the scheduled batter. Now the umpires are going to go inform the managers of what the delay is. The third base umpire, Chris Guccione, over to talk to John Gibbons about what's happening. Joe Girardi has been informed by Dale Scott. Well, while we have a moment, there's an interruption in play. We'll pull away for a minute. We'll be right back to Yankee Stadium. A significant delay, and they're tending to a fan down past the Blue Jays dugout. So Andrew Bailey will step in. Josh Donaldson is in the batter's box, and we are ready to resume play. So Donaldson has had a big night. He got it started with a 2-run homer in the first. The Blue Jays have had 4 players tonight with 2 RBIs. They lead at 9-2. That's significant because it's the first time since June 8th of 1992 that the Blue Jays have had 4 players with 2 or more RBIs in the same game. So it's been a long time since the Blue Jays have had this kind of offense spread up and down the batting order.
And who were those players?
Well, who were those players? Some names from the past, to be sure. Manny Lee, Devon White, Jeff Kent, and Pat Tabler.
See the parallels between this team in 1992 and 93?
That team went to the World Series.
There's been a lot of parallels.
A lot of parallels. June 8th, 1992. 4 Blue Jays with 2 or more RBIs. Donaldson, Smoak, Martin, and Encarnacion all have 2 RBIs to this point.
Donaldson doing his with a long ball. Justin Smoak with a 2-run home run. Edwin with a 2-run home run.
Look at that stroke. Josh Donaldson just slapped that ball into right field. Another great approach for Josh Donaldson. Folks, that's how you hit 300.
We were talking about this when the Blue Jays were in Boston about how do you defend a guy like this who can hit the ball out of the ballpark but still can do this on that hard cutter away, stay on it, and shoot the ball to right field. We've seen a lot of teams try to put those 3 infielders on the left side. Can't do that against Josh Donaldson. Not when you throw a cutter like that away. He's got such great back control that he can just shoot it the other way for a hit.
Mount Crushmore is live and well here in New York. For Donaldson, with 2 hits, his average is up to 309. Jose Bautista singled his last time up. He scored on Encarnacion's 2-run homer in the 4th. John Smoltz, the Hall of Fame pitcher, is here with the MLB Network during the game tonight with Matt Vasgersian. And he was sitting in our booth earlier tonight. He was talking about Josh Donaldson. He said, you know, I'm a pitcher, so to prepare for this game, Smoltz went back and looked at Donaldson's last 50 at-bats. He said, I don't know where I would pitch him. He said he covers everything away, just like he did there. He said, I think I would probably throw him splitters down and in and hope that he rolls over on that pitch.
Well, what if you don't have a splitter?
Yeah, well, that was Smoltz because he had one, and that was him thinking about facing this lineup. He said, I would have loved to face this lineup because they're the best of the best. And you always like those challenges.
Yeah, I love that where he went back and looked at him. Can't find a hole in Josh Donaldson's swing.
Bautista takes a slow breaking ball down and away. Is 3-1 to Jose. But the Blue Jays are getting their just due. Everybody in baseball has recognized them as the most dangerous lineup in the game. Bautista was headed for first. He thought that was inside.
Just trying to get to double digits again in scoring. That's a cutter. Bautista thought it went around the plate, but he's got to get back in there and refocus.
3-2 pitch. Pulled foul. Not going to take anything close.
No. He struck out in the 2nd inning on a pitch that he thought was off the plate. And that last called strike made him force him basically to swing at that inside pitch just there.
Bautista strikes out for the 3rd time. Encarnacion's had a terrific night at the plate.
Well, if you don't get Bautista, or you do get Bautista, then you got to face Edwin right there. Breaking ball from Chris Martin. See ya. Into the 2nd deck down the left field line. That's his 31st home run. And get into that familiar trot.
Edwin has scored 3 runs. He's doubled, walked, and homered. And hits this one high in the air, but that's going to stay in the ballpark. Ellsbury waits a long time, makes the catch. Encarnacion's retired for the first time tonight. He just missed that one.
The cutter that was right off of the end of the bat. Blue Jays are getting a pitcher warm. It's the 6th inning, and David Price has thrown 96 pitches. So LaTroy Hawkins is up.
2 outs for Troy Tulowitzki, who's had a 2-hit game. Tulowitzki had an RBI single in the 5-run first and singled in the 4th. Caleb Cotham is up throwing for the Yankees. As we mentioned, they got all kinds of pitchers down there.
14.
And we're going to see a bunch of them tonight.
You might see a few tomorrow. Doubleheader for the Blue Jays and Yankees.
I have a problem with this.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it at all. I think baseball people would chime in as well. You're playing the most meaningful baseball of the season in the last month, and you can call up 40 men. I just don't think it's fair. And yeah, you know, Blue Jays are taking advantage of it just like the Yankees, but you play under one set of rules for 5 months and then you change them for the most important month of the season.
And then you go back to it. If you make it into the playoffs, you go back to the way you played for 5 months. That doesn't make any sense.
And it doesn't. I think it's really unfair to the sense of competition because you're doing things you wouldn't normally do. You might pinch run for a guy because you have extra bodies. You wouldn't do that normally. You might get a guy out of a game because you've got extra arms. I think it just changes the entire game in the most important month of baseball.
I understand about expanding the rosters. Why can't you bring the guys up and name 5 guys for one game and kind of like a taxi squad?
Exactly, like they do in hockey. You're going to dress a certain amount of guys during the course of a game. Well, you can dress 25, and that will limit you to the number of moves you can make in a specific game. 3-1 to Tulowitzki. Now it's 3-2.
Or even for a series, or expand it from 25, have your 25-man roster and have 5 more guys that are available to you for that series.
I don't even know if I agree with that, because then basically you're doing the same thing. So you can empty out your bullpen and get 5 more guys for the next game.
Yeah, but you don't have 14 relievers.
Yeah, I just don't think it's right. And I've felt like this for a long time.
Blue Jays made a roster move today to try to strengthen their bullpen.
They called up Chad Jenkins. There's a 3-2 pitch. This is popped up behind home. McCann will watch it sail over the screen out of play. Yeah, Chad Jenkins was sitting at home, got the call. Hey, we need you in New York. Got a doubleheader tomorrow. But I don't agree with it. I don't think it's right. I mean, if you're going to play a whole season and then you get to September, you say, well, we've made it to September now. We can have pinch runners. We can have defensive players. We can have extra bullpen arms. Yeah, I know teams are tired and teams are beat up, but everybody would be the same. As soon as I'm named commissioner, I'm changing that.
That's number one? Okay. All right. I'll write that down.
Another 3-2 pitch. Donaldson at first will be off on the pitch. There he goes. Tulowitzki fouls it back. Donaldson will go back to first. 6th inning, 9-2 Blue Jays. They've out hit the Yanks 11-6, and they've out homered them 4-0. It's the 6th time the Blue Jays have hit 4 or more home runs in New York, and they've won all 5 of the previous games. You hit 4 home runs in a game, you better win it.
Yeah, especially if you've got guys on base like they have tonight.
Cued off the end of the bat, right back to Bailey. The inning is over. Tulowitzki is out. Blue Jays get a leadoff single, and they strand a base runner. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th.
HD with MLB.tv. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 devices with MLB.tv Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and much more. Every night on every device. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. Look, Blue Jay fans don't have to watch the Yankees tonight because they're already on. So you can follow them. You can follow the other races tonight on MLB TV.
There are a lot of races heating up around baseball, that's for sure. And right now the Blue Jays have a comfortable lead. It's 9-2. New pitcher into the game is LaTroy Hawkins taking over for David Price, who threw 96 pitches.
96 pitches in 5 innings. It was pretty obvious what the Yankees were doing to try and get that pitch count up and try to get into the bullpen. They will face LaTroy Hawkins. There are his numbers in 37 games, 3-1 with a 286 earned run average. He did not pitch in this series in Boston, where the Blue Jays were just last pitched on the 6th. That was against the Orioles, through an inning after a couple of hits and a run charged to him. That was a 10-4 Blue Jay win against the Orioles.
And now it's up to Hawkins to try to deal with the middle of this order. It'll be Beltran, Headley, and Greg Bird. Hawkins pitched in that Baltimore game, as Pat mentioned. He struggled. He threw 22 pitches in an inning of work. About 2 hits, walked to batter.
He had some base runners and had to come up with some big pitches, and he ended up doing that just to hold the Orioles to a run. He's got to face the lower half of this Yankee lineup here in the 6th.
Hooked into the seats down the right side. And Troy Hawkins made the announcement at the start of this season, when he was with Colorado, that this would be his final season. For Hawkins, it's his 14th appearance since joining the Blue Jays. It was a total of 12 1/3. He's given up 17 hits.
Yeah, they're hitting over 300 against him. He's only given up 2 earned runs in those 12 1/3 innings. Just basically 1 inning right now in the middle of the ball game. It's a bridge, if you will, towards the end of the bullpen.
Some fly ball to left. That'll take Revere right to the edge of the warning track, but no further. 1 out. David Price in line for his 15th win of the season. It's his 8th start as a Blue Jay, and those 5 innings, the 7 strikeouts elevated his pitch count. He had 1 walk, but leaves in line for the win.
And I think this is more for, let's look into the crystal ball here, maybe for getting ready for his next start. Blue Jays have a 7-run lead. 96 pitches, get him out of there, so you don't want to wear him down, get him ready for that next start.
David Price is scheduled to start on Thursday, the final game in Atlanta. It'll be Burley, Hutchison, and Price scheduled to pitch those 3 games against the Braves.
You know what? I don't have a problem with that. In fact, I commend the Blue Jays by saying, you know what? We got Price, and he's supposed to be here to pitch and win big ball games. But if my bullpen cannot keep a 7-run lead, if I can't get my starter out of there, if they can't hold that lead, then something's wrong.
Smoak knocked it down. He didn't know where it was, and it'll go off his glove. Should be a base hit. Let's see what the scorer thinks. It was hit hard right to Smoak. He tried to backhand it, but it kicked up in the air, and he wasn't sure where it was, so Headley's aboard.
That was the only play that Smoak had on this. You get down, look how low he is, and you try and scoop it just like a low throw. You get down and you scoop it. But that ball kicked up on him. The ball's hit hard by Headley.
Not hard by the scorer's judgment. It's ruled an error on the first baseman for Smoak. That's his 3rd error of the season. Greg Bird, powerful rookie. Bird is 0 for 2 with the strikeout.
I think what you have to do against these left-handed hitters, especially the power hitters, if you're LaTroy Hawkins, throw fastballs away. Elevate it a little bit. Make him hit fly balls to left field and center field. There you go. A couple of pitches up and away.
Yeah, I don't think you want to mess around with the inner half of this plate with lefties at the plate. And this team, they can come back. We have seen that many times in the past several seasons. Greg Bird is from Colorado, from Aurora, Colorado. He had a unique experience in the Orioles series in that he faced his former high school teammate, Kevin Gosman, the right-hander for the Orioles. Pretty unique that two players from the same high school will get to the big leagues, but even more special the fact they faced one another.
Two pretty good players. Really, Gosman was blowing it, bringing some gas in that game against the Yankees.
Inside. Now it's 2-2. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Well, he's got a nice swing. You mentioned the Joey Votto comparison. I think that's a good comparison. He's quiet at the plate, short stroke.
You'll take a share of walks like Votto, and if you make a mistake, and pop one out of the ballpark. Again, if you're just joining us, he will probably play every day at first base for the rest of the season because the Yankees got some bad news on Mark Teixeira.
Teixeira fouled the ball off his leg, and he'd been dealing with swelling and a very sore, deep bone bruise, and they found out today that it, in fact, is a broken leg.
That was a month ago that he found. August the 17th, he fouled that ball off of that shin and has not been able to play.
Joe Girardi, he felt like something was more significant than a bone bruise, and he was right. 3-2 to Bird. Popped him up back behind home and out of play. Greg Bird has played at 3 levels in the Yankee system this summer. Started out Double-A Trenton and went to Triple-A Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Played in 34 games in Triple-A, and this is his 25th game with the Yankees. Well, these seats are so close to the action here. You better be heads up, and you know what happens is a lot of fans get distracted. They'll order a hot dog from a vendor, turn around, and before you know it, there's a crack of the bat.
I think Major League Baseball is going to do something.
Sure sounds like it. There's an awful lot of discussion about putting up fences down the lines. There's a base hit. It's going to go up against the wall. Headley's around second. He's headed for third. Bautista's got a shot. Now they got Bird hung up, and he hustles back to first. Good job by Bautista, playing it off the wall and keeping Greg Bird to a long single.
It's a nice swing. Ball jumps off of his bat. LaTroy Hawkins is going to have to pitch out of some trouble right now. Tried to slip that fastball, wanted it away, but it's inside, and you can see he gets that bat through quickly. One hop off the wall. Bautista retrieves it, gets it back in. Hold Bird to a single, and that'll bring Pete Walker out.
You know, we have talked about the pennant races and the fact that Texas was closing in on the Houston Astros. Well, tonight, Colby Lewis for the Rangers has a perfect game through 6 against the Oakland A's. Brett Cecil starting to loosen up for the Blue Jays.
Bird, Gregorius, Ellsbury, and Gardner all lefties. 4 out of 5 hitters.
Didi Gregorius had an RBI single his last time up against David Price. Jumped on the first pitch and ripped it to right. This is gone. A 3-run home run deep into the seats in right. Didi Gregorius with a 4 RBI night. And that was a no-doubter.
Boy, it got out of here quickly. A little off-speed pitch, and he knows. Home run number 9, and watch where this one lands. It looked like it hit off the facing of that upper deck. And back down. And now another pinch hitter, another left-hander comes to the plate.
So Pete Walker and John Givens talking about their options. Dustin Ackley has come off the bench. Ackley is batting for Brendan Ryan, the second baseman. (9-5) ball game. Oh, 0-2 to Ackley. Yankees picked him up from the Mariners. He pops this one up. Tulowitzki backpedaling into the outfield. 2 down.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY expert sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
But Troy Hawkins is out of the ball game. He gives up the 3-run home run to Didi Gregorius, top of the order. Ellsbury Gardner, so the left-hander Brett Cecil coming on. Troy Hawkins gets 2 outs here in the 6th. He gives up a 3-run home run to Didi Gregorius, and he gives way to the lefty Brett Cecil.
A lot of left-handers in this lineup for the Yankees, and Cecil's going to play a key role, I think, in this series. There's Brett's numbers, 3 and 4 with a 3 earned run average. Last time out, he got 4 outs in the R.A. Dickey start in Boston and had 3 strikeouts. Struck out 3 of the 4 outs that he recorded. He'll get a couple of lefties here.
Jacoby Ellsbury goes after the first pitch. Smoak plays it. Will flip to Cecil. Bang, bang at first, but Brett gets out of it. Took him just 1 pitch to close out the Yankees in the 6th. We'll go to the 7th. New York has made it interesting.
Keep up to speed with everything Blue Jays. Don't miss a pitch with our in-depth live game tracker. Plus, the latest news, videos, and interviews on Canada's team. Download the new Sportsnet app today.
Thank you very much, Barry. And new pitcher into the ball game is the left-hander Chasen Shreve. This is his 52nd appearance of the season.
Doesn't throw that hard, but he's very funky. And look at all the strikeouts that he has picked up, 61 of them in 54 to third innings, 6 and 2 of the 199 earned run average for Shreve.
Stephen Drew takes over defensively at second base. Brendan Ryan was lifted in favor of the pinch hitter. So Smoak will turn around and bat right-handed for the first time tonight. Goes after the first pitch, and that's a fair ball. Down the left field line, it bounces off the wall. Smoak will stop at first as Gardner got to it very quickly. Justin Smoak with a 2-hit game.
Boy, that's what you have to do. Yankees scored 3 in the bottom of the 6th. Now you got to put together a rally of your own. That one just out of the reach of Headley. Down the line, Gardner gets over, cuts it off, gets it back in, holds him to a single.
A 1 no-out single for Smoak. Now it'll be Russell Martin. Martin homered his last time up. Russell's had a 2-hit night. Russell Martin's career high 21 home runs. That came as a Yankee. He's just 3 off that mark right now. His homer in the 5th was off Andrew Bailey.
Really the only mistake Bailey made in his 2 innings for the Yankees. 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 run.
Gave up a leadoff home run to Russell Martin in the 5th, then a leadoff single to Josh Donaldson. Donaldson never moved off first. Chasen Shreve last pitched on Tuesday. Went an inning in relief of Masahiro Tanaka in that 2-1 loss to the Orioles. Gave up a home run to Chris Davis. A decisive blow in that game. Two balls and a strike. There's a drive to left field, and Gardner's going to watch this one sail into the seats. A 2-homer night for Russell Martin.
That is how you answer the 3-run home run that the Yankees hit in the bottom of the 6th right away. First guy gets on, next guy goes deep. Russell Martin having a night.
19th home run of the season for Martin. 4 RBIs for Russell. That'll push him to 61 for the season.
Big single back in the 3rd inning to drive in a run, and now he looks free and easy at the plate. Homered his last time off of Bailey. Pushes the Blue Jays lead back to 6 with that one. That ball got out of here quick. Line drive. And out of here. And it looked like a Blue Jay fan ended up with that one. Russell knows he can break it down.
10th career multi-home run game for Russell Martin. Goins hits it hard, but right to Drew at second.
Jason Shreve was brought in here to try to hold this lead down and watch his reaction. It's the 8th time he has given up a home run this year, and just like that, the Blue Jays get 2 more.
Shreve gave up a home run to Devin Travis earlier in the season. It was Travis's first career home run, and now he has given one up to Russell Martin.
It's now 5 players for the Blue Jays with at least 2 RBIs tonight.
23rd time this season the Blue Jays have scored 10 or more runs in an inning. They had given up 10 runs twice in the Boston series. Now they've bounced back with a big night here tonight to open up this Yankees series.
Isn't that what you want to have in a big series like this? Make a statement early.
They made it in the 1st inning, and they've echoed that statement here later on in the ball game.
And then you want to get into that bullpen early, which they have done.
Kevin Pillar is 0 for 3 so far tonight. Blue Jays have 11 runs on 13 hits, and they've hit 5 home runs. Third time the Blue Jays have hit 5 homers in a game this season. They had 5 homers against the Braves way back in April at Rogers Center, and they did it again against the Red Sox on Canada Day. Had a 5-homer game in that game against Boston. They can put up some crooked numbers, can't they?
And quickly, too.
Pillar grounds it to third. Headley across the diamond, 2 outs. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Kobe Lewis, 2 strikeouts. He's thrown 69 pitches through 7 innings. Under 10 pitches an inning. Don't take your eyes off of the Texas Rangers. And Revere rips it past Bird into right field. Revere has his second hit of the night.
Third time that he has been on, and that'll probably chase Shreve out of this ball game with a right-hander warming up. He's had 5 at-bats, Ben Revere. And it's only the 7th inning.
So Shreve is out of the game. He gives up a 2-run home run to Russell Martin, and Caleb Cottom will come in, the right-hander, to take over with 2 outs here in the 7th.
At electrical expert sale, only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Yankee Stadium. The pitcher is Caleb Cotham. He is making just his 4th appearance of the season. Josh Donaldson at the plate with Revere at first.
And why wait around? Look, first pitch fastball. He got it. Cotham's another one of those players that has a big arm. So the 12 strikeouts per 9 innings, a former 5th-round draft pick, 2009.
First time the Blue Jays have seen him. Donaldson hits it to the shortstop. Gregorius to Drew. That'll end the inning. But the Blue Jays get 2 more. We are in New York City. It's 9/11, the anniversary of 9/11. And with that, we go down on the field for God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and remove your caps? And please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest who is joined by his 2 brothers. NYPD police officer and U.S. Marine Corps Sergeant Gerardo Caballero from Brentwood, New York, who served in Operation Enduring Freedom. The Yankees say thank you for your sacrifice and service to our nation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the microphone behind home plate and welcome FDNY firefighter Regina Wilson. She will now sing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairie, to the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my
watching their son Dalton, hoping he gets into this game at some point. You know, their other son Tristan was a member of Tournament 12 a few years ago, and it is presented by New Era and Blue Jays Baseball Academy. It goes September 14th through 18th at the Rogers Center. Come see the best 160 Canadian high school amateur baseball players with college eligibility. For tickets, visit bluejays.com/T12. But his parents told me today that they're thrilled that Dalton is back, and they both agree that this was the best thing that happened to him, to set sent down and kind of reset everything for him.
I think Dalton has rebounded nicely from him. Finished up on a positive note down in the minor leagues.
You know what? There's not a lot of players, Buck, that come to the big leagues for the first time and stay here. There's a lot of times they come up, they get a taste of it, they have to go back down, they got to finish their seasoning. They could come back up again and then go back down again. It's just where you are in your development.
Yeah, and when you think about it, really, Dalton hasn't played an awful lot of baseball. I mean, remember early in his career, he didn't break with the team. He stayed in extended spring training, so he didn't have a lot of minor league at-bats, so it wasn't a bad thing for him.
That's why I think it's so important for young players. Just keep playing. Go to winter ball. Go anywhere. The Arizona Fall League instructor, just keep playing the game and keep learning the game of baseball, and pretty soon, you know, the game will start slowing down for you.
Brett Siddle, Joe Siddle's son, enjoyed his first season of pro ball. He finished up in Burlington, Vermont with the Oakland A's. He will go to the Arizona Instructional League. after this weekend. Get a chance to go out and continue his development.
Brett's in town. Saw him down on the field today. And getting a chance to watch the Blue Jays take batting practice up close. Right down on the field.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Brett Gardner, leading off the bottom of the 7th for the Yankees. He gets jammed on that inside pitch. Brett Cecil came in to retire Jacoby Ellsbury to close out the 6th. It is 11-5 Blue Jays. They've out-hit the Yankees 14-8. And the Blue Jays have pounded out 5 home runs here at Yankee Stadium tonight. High breaking ball.
No secret what Brett Gardner is trying to do against Brett Cecil. Just trying to shoot that ball the other way. Stay on it as long as possible.
He gets a piece of that breaking ball.
He has hit 300 against Cecil in his career. He's got 4 hits off of him and 13 at bats. He's got a good approach at the plate.
He has a lot to do with the Yankees scoring runs. When he gets on base, this offense really clicks. He and Ellsbury, top of the order. Great 1-2 punch. This was popped out of play. These teams will play a doubleheader tomorrow. It'll all start at 1 p.m. Marco Estrada will go in the first game. The Yankees, I believe, have announced Nova in game 1 and Pineda in game 2. It'll be Stroman for the Blue Jays making his season debut in the second game of the doubleheader. And what an advance by Gardner. He works over Cecil for a leadoff single. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Kobe Lewis just 1 hit into the 8th inning, and Danny Valencia hit a leadoff double in the 8th. It's 4-0 Texas. I think that's what matters most to Kobe Lewis and the Rangers.
Yeah, all those personal accolades are great. Get the W. That's what the Blue Jays are trying to do here tonight.
Alex Rodriguez, boy, they have stayed inside in his kitchen all night long. He has struck out 3 times. Rodriguez for the season has hit .277 against left-handed pitching. 10 of his 30 home runs have come against southpaws. But lately it's been a bit of a struggle. 10 hits, but 4 of them have left the yard.
Gearing up for that fastball. That's where you got to stay. You got to stay in on him here. Got a great breaking ball, does Brett Cecil. This might be the time for it.
There's that breaking ball, but Rodriguez wouldn't bite. Brett Cecil has the longest active scoreless streak in the American League. Coming into this game 22 1/3, now up to 22 2/3. There's that breaking ball, and Rodriguez strikes out for the 4th time. 4 strikeouts for Rodriguez.
Yeah, he's hearing it from the fans right now. Brett Cecil, that scoreless streak is the longest by a Blue Jay pitcher this season. All the great pitching performances they have seen. Brett's #1. That's where you want to bounce that breaking ball with 2 strikes.
It is also the 5th longest scoreless streak by a Toronto reliever in a season. Longest since Scott Downs in 2008 when he had 28 consecutive scoreless innings. This is Brian McCann, the catcher, 0 for 3. Well, both managers are strategizing about this doubleheader tomorrow. They're thinking about their relief pitchers. Okay, I've got 2 games tomorrow. Mark Lowe starting to loosen up for the Blue Jays. Hawkins, now Cecil. And you can bet Cecil's not going long in this game. Off-speed pitch popped up behind home. Russell Martin will give it a look, but it's over the screen out of play.
Yeah, they're going to have to watch his pitch count. It's up to 17 because you got 2 games tomorrow, and he's an important guy in that bullpen for the Blue Jays, Brett Cecil.
There's no question about it. With Ellsbury, Gardner, McCann, Bird,
Gregorius,
you've got to have Cecil available for key at bats in both games tomorrow.
Both
ideally,
games. Yeah, even if it's for 1 batter, maybe 2, so you can't go too long tonight.
Foul tip. Well, that's an important thing. Cecil has thrown 19 pitches now. So you want to get him out of here as quickly as you can. Aware that he's an important part. Got so many left-handers, and you got that short porch in right field. Jeff Francis gave up a home run to Travis Shaw in Boston, a left-handed batter.
We talked about that in Boston about some of the other left-handers stepping up here the last couple of weeks. Brett Cecil has stepped it up, hasn't he?
He sure has. He strikes out Rodriguez and now McCann.
The importance of left-handers. You're going to be playing in the American League East. There's a lot of sluggers in small ballparks, so it's really tough to go into those series with just one left-hander. Got to have those good breaking balls. That's where I think Aaron Loop and Jeff Francis could be important guys for the Jays.
Now, and they tried to get him innings and get him some work in Boston, and it didn't work. They gave up base hits, and I don't think John Gibbons saw anything that really gave him confidence they could use him in a tight situation. Well, foul, deep, but foul.
Boy, Beltran's been swinging a hot bat against the Blue Jays.
He's had some big hits. He's a veteran. He doesn't get rattled. For the season, he's 9 for 37 coming into this game. But there's another good breaking ball, and this is what Cecil can do and why he's so important. The 23 pitches now. You want to get him out of this inning. Slap some ice on that shoulder and get him ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, you got 2 more big ones tomorrow.
Now that's a big strikeout, and Cecil. He strikes out the side after giving up a single to Brett Gardner. Cecil goes an inning and a third.
Blue Jays, and it's where you can vote for today's play of the game. Just go to sportsnet.ca and cast your vote following every Blue Jays game. I think Russell Martin may get split votes tonight. He had 2 big ones, Buck.
Well, he sure did. What a night for Russell Martin. Russell's had a 4 RBI game. He's 3 for 4 with a pair of home runs. We're in the 8th. It'll be Bautista, Encarnacion, and Tulowitzki for the Jays. Ball on the strike to Bautista. He is 1 for 4 this evening. He scored a run in the 4th after getting a 2-out single. Gotham is the 4th Yankee reliever to work tonight. Severino started and went 2 1/3. He was charged with 6 earned runs on 6 hits. Then Martin, Bailey, Shreve, and now Caleb Cotham. 3-1 to Bautista. David Price is in line for the win. The Blue Jays put up a big number for him tonight. In 8 starts with the Blue Jays, he's been given 51 runs of support. In 21 starts with the Tigers this year, they scored a total of 66 runs. A little bit better place for Price to pitch right now. Bautista rips it into center field. Had a check swing foul on what looked to be ball 4. But he gets a base hit, his 2nd of the night.
He was upset about that one. That'll be hit number 15 for the Blue Jays tonight. Blue Jays trying to go 2.5 games up on the Yankees. There are the American League East standings. Also trying to win their 80th game of the season and go 20 games over 500 again.
And they have an outside shot at catching Kansas City for the best record in the American League. Kansas City leads the Orioles in Baltimore 6-4 in the bottom of the 8th. Just popped up. Bird will watch this ball hit the top of the Yankees dugout and bounce out of play. But the Blue Jays certainly very businesslike no matter what the score is. They've got a lot of respect for everybody in their division, and they're going to see a lot of them winding down this season.
Yeah, so they just come out and they play that day's ball game and see what we can do to help win the game. You were mentioning about Price, mentioning about all the runs that the Blue Jays have scored for him. Fortunate enough for him tonight, I think, scoring him the runs where he can just throw 5 innings and save some of those bullets, if you will, for his next couple of starts.
Yeah, he threw 96 pitches, walked 1, struck out 7. And he was given an early lead, so you've got a little bit of a cushion, and you're right. He's going to be asked to pitch some big games down the stretch and hopefully into the postseason. He's over 200 innings now with the 5 innings tonight. 0-2. Encarnacion strikes out. Well, there have been 16 runs scored here tonight, and it's not unusual when these two teams hook up. You can see they're the most prolific offensive ball clubs in all of baseball. Blue Jays, only team in baseball to score over 700 runs, and they're almost 100 runs ahead of the Yankees.
95 more than the Yankees, who are number 2. You and I were talking to Tony Pena, who is he's first base coach now for the New York Yankees, before the game, and we were talking about life in the American League East and how tough it is. And you see everyday players come over here, and you certainly see pitchers come over the American League East, and it's tough. It is a tough place to play. You got great ball clubs that are deep. You got franchises who have been great franchises for a long time. Deep lineups, good pitching staffs, a little bit of everything. And, it takes great teams to win this division.
And because the division is so competitive, pitchers are used to grinding through tough lineups. And you get a new hitter into a lineup and they just keep coming at you. David Price has spent the majority of his career in the AL East with Tampa Bay and now the Blue Jays. Tulowitzki fouls it out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Blue Jays shortstop. Tulowitzki has 2 hits tonight. He's not had a 3-hit game since August 25th down in Arlington against the Rangers. He went 3 for 5 in that game. But he's starting to have better at bats and have consistent contact.
Yeah, he's showing signs, that the at bats are better. The contact rate is a little bit better. The line drive rate. A couple of singles, a fly out, a ground out tonight.
Line drive to right. Beltran makes a running catch. Tulowitzki hit it hard again. And now there are 2 outs. That'll bring Smoak to the plate. Justin Smoak's had a big night here at Yankee Stadium. He homered in the first, a 2-run shot. He walked in the third, lined out in the fourth, and singled and scored in the seventh. 15 homers and 48 ribbies for Smoak.
They have gotten some production from the guys who can play first base for him right now. Looking for that first pitch right here. Let's see if you can have a multi-home run game.
Off speed pitch. They've certainly given him a steady diet of those slow breaking balls and changeups. Pulled foul. Justin Smoak had a 2-homer game on Canada Day against the Red Sox. That was an 11-2 Blue Jays win. The Blue Jays haven't hit 6 home runs in a game since September 30th at Minnesota in 2010. Remember that great series?
Yeah.
Bautista hit 2 in that game. Encarnacion hit 2. Jose Molina hit 1 and Travis Snyder hit 1. A 6-homer game. That's the last time they've hit 6 in a ball game. And Smoak strikes out. So the Blue Jays are done in the top half of the 8th inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 11-5 Blue Jays. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Kevin Barker. Buffalo into the ball game to start the 8th inning. Brett Cecil went an inning and a third through 24 pitches. Now Mark Lowe in to start the 8th.
Last time Mark worked was 3 days ago, where he followed Brett Cecil's great outing in Boston in that 5-1 win for the Blue Jays. 2/3 of an innings with a strikeout. 48th game this season for Mark Lowe. He's thrown 46 and 2/3 innings. He's only walked 11 batters.
What Lowe has done most impressively is throw few pitches. He's been very efficient in throwing 2/3 of an inning. On Tuesday, he threw just 7 pitches, and there's one pitch. He's going to get it out. Chase Headley goes after the first pitch and grounds out to Donaldson. This bullpen, especially Lowe, Sanchez, and Osuna, have been remarkably efficient with their pitches.
Well, they've got great stuff. So as a hitter, you don't want to get to 2 strikes because you're going to strike out. So you get a lot of early swings off of their fastballs.
Greg Bird. Bird is 1 for 3 tonight. How much does the improved defense play into the efficiency of the relievers?
You know, not just the reliever. I think the whole pitching staff. It plays into the great defense. They can be a little bit more aggressive. They can concentrate on throwing strikes because they know if the ball is put in play and the Blue Jays have a chance to make the play, they're going to make the play. And the additions, I think, of Tulowitzki and Revere right at the trade deadline really solidified this team defensively. I think I can make an argument for the Blue Jays. Remember, you hear that in baseball all the time. You got to be strong up the middle defensively. You and I can make an argument that this might be the best defensive team up the middle in baseball. Center fielder, shortstop, second baseman, and catcher.
This is popped up left side of the infield. Donaldson, the third baseman, in fair territory, makes the catch. 2 outs very quickly for Mark Lowe. And you're right, when you have the backbone up the middle defensively, your pitchers pitch with a lot of confidence.
The one team I think that's right there with the Blue Jays up the middle defensively, Kansas City. They're strong. I mean, with Salvador Perez and Alcides Escobar at shortstop, Perez as a catcher, and Lorenzo King up the middle. Infante plays a good second base. They are strong up the middle.
Very athletic in a big ballpark. Didi Gregorius has had a 4 RBI night. Had a 3-run home run back in the 6th. Gregorius was born in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, and grew up in Curaçao. He and Anderson Simmons, the shortstop we're going to see with the Braves in the next series, they grew up together in Curaçao and played ball since they were kids. And the Netherlands Antilles, Curaçao, Aruba, and Bonaire have developed some pretty good baseball players. We just saw one of them in Boston.
Some pretty good shortstops, huh? Over the last couple of seasons.
Xander Bogaerts, the young shortstop for the Red Sox, grew up in Aruba. This is a long run. Donaldson out. Revere calls him off, makes a nice play. Another good sign how effective this bullpen is. Ben Revere, running hard, hollers and calls Donaldson off. He peels out of the way. The left fielder makes the catch. Another good inning.
price of $24.99 a month. Modem rental or purchase is required. Ask about our other plans that deliver the fastest internet speeds to the most Canadians. Call 1-888-ROGERS-1 today. Buck?
Thank you very much. Beautiful shot of New York City, Manhattan. We are in New York Friday night, first of 4 games. New pitcher is Brandon Pinder.
19 games. He's one of those guys who was on that minor league shuttle, if you will, back and forth this year. This is his 6th stint with the Yankees. Good arm, good fastball, good slider combination.
One of the 2 losses he has suffered came at the hands of the Blue Jays. Russell Martin, what a night he's had. 3 for 4 with a pair of home runs.
Didn't Bautista touch him up for a home run here the last time the Blue Jays were in New York?
I believe that was the case, August 7th. 10th inning home run. Bautista with the game winner off Pinder. That was a 2-1 ball game.
In 10 innings, Dickey and Evaldi were the starting pitchers that day.
Strike 2 to Martin, 1-2 now. Nathan Evaldi has been lost to the Yankees for the season, and that's a tough loss. He was their winningest starter. And he's got elbow problems. Going to let it quiet down, and hopefully he'll be ready to go. Evaldi 14-3 in 27 starts. That's a tough loss.
Yeah.
Everybody is struggling this time of the year.
Those people aren't struggling.
No, Blue Jay fans having a good time here at Yankee Stadium out in left field.
They're going with the "Let's Go Blue Jays" chant, and the Yankee fans aren't happy about it.
Martin strikes out. 1 down here in the 9th. The Baltimore Orioles have overtaken the Kansas City Royals in Baltimore, and they have scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning, and the inning is not over. Only 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. That's significant. If the Blue Jays win here and the Royals lose, they will be within 3 games of the best record in the American League. Ryan Goins gets a knock up the middle, his first hit of the night.
Goins has been making a lot more solid contact lately. Blue Jays 16 hits now, and Goins gets to join the parade.
In that game in Baltimore, Kelvin Herrera has really been touched up. Went 2/3 of an inning, charged with 4 runs, 3 earned runs on 3 hits. Baltimore has scored 9 runs without benefit of a Chris Davis home run. That's unusual.
That's a shocker.
Manny Machado hit his 28th in that 8th inning and rallied back. Danny Duffy started for the Royals, went 5 innings, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits. Kochevar, Madsen, Chris Young pitching out of the bullpen, went 2/3. Franklin Morales is into the game now. He's given up 2 hits and a run and hasn't gotten an out yet. Kevin Pillar's 0 for 4 so far. Pillar's had a terrific season. This is his first full major league season. Now has 512 at bats. Everyday player. Done a great job. It's this one on the line, but foul.
Tell you what, he hasn't slowed down. If you ask me, he's played great defense and hitting at that number 9 spot. Right-handed batter between Goins and Revere. Breaks up the lefties for John Gibbons. And goes up there and gives you good at-bats, I think, all the time.
He's got 34 extra base hits. Fouls off a tough pitch. 11 runs on 16 hits for the Blue Jays tonight in the opener of this 4-game series. They really made a statement coming into Yankee Stadium. You know, this particular group of players haven't won in a long time. And this was destined to be a very honest test for them.
I think this whole road trip is going to be a good test for them. If you can win games in September on the road, when teams are gunning for you.
This will be 5 straight road wins against the Yankees for the Blue Jays, coming in here in a ballpark where they always had trouble. Hit hard. Gregorius to second for one. Drew back to first. Double play. That'll finish off the Blue Jays in the top of the 9th. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Bottom of the Yankees order. And they're on the wrong side of that score in Baltimore. Aaron Luke making his 52nd appearance of the season.
You got 3 lefties scheduled for the New York Yankees, so you got to bring in Aaron Luke here. 2-5 with a 506 earned run average. He could be an important guy, I think, if he can get that slider working for him again and then go both sides of the plate with that fastball. So John Gibbons is going to get Aaron some work here in the 9th inning. He will face a pinch hitter to start it all off.
It'll be Rob Refsnyder, an infielder, batting for Stephen Drew. Drew played defense after Ackley came on to pinch hit for Brendan Ryan. Refsnyder, a rookie. Numbers at AAA, 271 with 9 homers.
There was talk that he was going to make this team out of spring training as their second baseman.
Refsnyder, 4 games in total for the Yankees. He has 12 at bats. Aaron Luke trying to close out this ball game. Blue Jays lead at 11-5 on 16 hits. Loup needs a good outing here. Opportunity. He's got Refsnyder, the pinch hitter, and then he'll have Ellsbury and Gardner, a couple of lefties. Loup pitched on Monday afternoon in Boston, threw 2 pitches, gave up a base hit, and was out of the game. Loup came in, gave up a base hit to Mookie Betts, and then hit Pablo Sandoval. He was out of the ball game after facing 2 batters. Broken bat. That's a fair ball. Donaldson near the bag makes a nice play. Donaldson running into foul territory. 1 down here in the 9th. Now for a preview of what's coming up next on Sportsnet Central. Here's Ken Reed and Ivanka Osman. Thank you very much, Ivanka. That's all coming up right after this ball game, so make sure you stay tuned. 1 out, top of the order. Couple of lefties now for Aaron Loup.
Let's see what he can do. He hasn't had a lot of success in his career against Jacoby Ellsbury, the first lefty that he will get here in the 9th inning.
Ellsbury is 5 for 10 with a home run against Loup. These are important at bats, even though it's 11-5. John Gibbons trying to find out when he can use Loup. If he's got another left-hander, he can match up with Brett Cecil.
So it means something right here. You're always pitching for something.
And just the ability for Loup to have a good inning, that would put him in Joe Girardi's mind. You're thinking about making moves. You got Loup down there. You're going to pinch hit. If you got Loup and Cecil down there, then you know that it might cause Girardi to pause. Breaking ball outside.
Yeah, you'd like to get a left-hander like Aaron Loup because he can be so tough on lefties with that 3/4 action, side action, or that sidearm. But if that breaking ball, if you can sweep that breaking ball to the corner against the lefties, I think you're going to have a lot of success.
Soon is just throwing. It's been a while since he has pitched. Ryan Tepera is also just getting some throwing in. Remember, Blue Jays postponed last night. Osuna last pitched on Tuesday and threw just 10 pitches. So he needs to throw a little bit. Yeah, not 100% by any means.
And I think that's the message that Dane Johnson just gave Roberto. Like, okay, just easy. You can see that's about 60% right there.
Just playing catch, basically. Just an opportunity to get up and move around a little bit. Russell Martin hangs on to the foul tip. Ellsbury strikes out, 2 down. So Loup handles the first lefty here in the 9th. Now it'll be Brett Gardner, and Loup's had much more success against Gardner. Gardner just 1 for 8 against Loup. Gardner 2 for 2 tonight, sac fly and a walk.
There's that sweeping breaking ball to a lefty that can be pretty good, I think.
It got to a point where it was pretty flat and it didn't have enough depth to it, and left-handers could stay on it and slap it to left. 1 and 2, 2 outs. Yankees down to their final strike. There it is. That good breaking ball gets Gardner. Russell Martin throws him out. The ball game is over, and the Blue Jays win the opener of this 4-game series in dramatic fashion, 11-5, and they pounded out 5 home runs. David Price with the